Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to as Miss T. Looky. Birdman is in the building, was popping king. Bright and early in the evening. Salute Miss T and Queen and Demetrius Bright. Salute family. Yeah, Demetrius ain't making it here yet. But I feel y'all saw the thumbnail. Whiteeeee Garcia. Mind your biz, wax. Mind your business. As I always do, I start off every show with a water check. Hold on. Because somebody out of pocket. Hold tight. Hold up. Just y'all give me a moment. Momento. Did that fix it? Scared to touch it. See that? In the corner. Anywho, I'ma let it be. Yeah, Whiteeeee Garcia. I feel like you should mind your business. Because you're instigating. And we're going to talk about that when I come back. But first, let's turn to. Welcome back. As y'all see that my thumbnail, Whiteeeee Garcia, mind your business. We're gonna talk about that, but I'm gonna do the official water check. As always, I'm gonna repeat that you should drink your water first thing when you get up. Get the engine started, get it lubed, that's good nutrition right there. Life sustainer. At night before you go to bed, drink 8 ounces of water. Has many properties. It does your body good. Your body does a lot of stuff at night. It rejuvenates, reboosts, recharge. You burn the most calories at night. You need some water in there. As I said, water is a life sustainer. But we're gonna do some shout outs. Demetrius Bright, welcome to the building, King. Salute Queen T. He has 74 ounces. Demetrius, 12th bottle. I've been getting good at this. I really think it's because the steroid medicine that I always be on, I haven't been taking it. I have not been taking it. I said I'm going to reserve it for when it's in, from my neck up. But if I swell anywhere else, I'm not going to take it. Steroids, as I say, is good medicine. It gets a bad rap in sporting world because people use it to have advantages. But that was my goal this year, to stop drinking steroids. And I mean, stop drinking steroids, stop taking those pills as much as I can. It does save my life, so I can't say, it's an absolute. But like last night, for some odd reason, my left side of my mouth, my tongue started swelling up. I rolled it out. I just started drinking a lot of water, and it went down. And like I was so stuffed, I could hardly sleep because I drank so much water that night. I probably drank like 5 bottles of these, just hoping, but it stopped like midway up the tongue. But as I say, your tongue goes all the way back down your throat and everything. So usually for my neck up and my tongue, I have to go to the ER. But if I couldn't get it to stop, I was like patient. I was nervous. I thought I had to go to the ER because it was moving, but it stopped like right before it got to the back of my tongue. So the whole left side of my tongue was swelling up. Don't know why. I don't know why I know why I have the problem. It's one of my autoimmune disorders to swell. But I've been swelling other places. Again, I just been drinking some water. It's painful sometimes. Last night it wasn't painful. That's probably why I was able to be patient. But please, please drink your water. It does body good. Demetrius Bright says salute at Birdman. Okay, so I'm gonna try something here. I don't know how it's gonna work out. Y'all tell me. Y'all let me know in the chat. Can y'all hear this music? I turned it all the way up. Trying to find a happy medium. Can y'all hear that? And can you hear my voice over it? That's the question I have. Y'all let me know. Shout outs to my Facebookers. Please come into the chat, come into the actual YouTube channel so you can like, share, and subscribe. Smash that like button in the square circle in my Demetrius voice. I meant to ask you, I think I did, but I'm just to be sure. Demetrius, did you say it was okay for me to say it like that? Because I don't want to steal nobody's saying. Smash the like button as you come into the square circle. Can you hear me? Very clear over the music. I see that you say you hear. You said audio good. What about my voice over top of the music? Andrew Charles is in the building. What's popping, King? He said audio is good. Demetrius said no problem. Do your thing. Easy D 415. Yep. Welcome to the building, King. Macadocious Mac of the South. Salute the lovely and beautiful Madame Queen Miss T. Salute to you too, King. Now, I thought about it. It helps with cadence. Believe it or not, I like when the music is playing in the background. When I tried it yesterday, when I was doing the Black History Month little nugget that I was dropping, I liked it. It helped me, say the things just with a good cadence. Demetrius says, salute Macadocious of the South. So why do I say Mikey, or should I say Whiteeeee Garcia should mind his business? You ain't slick. You are not slick, Whitey. Look, I'm going to call you Mikey, but I should just call you Whitey because that's what you want to be known as. But we know different. Whitey, I got to tell you, you are no fortune teller. So cut the shit. Cut it all the way out. What you doing is instigating and trying to get under Buzz skin. That's what you're doing. You're instigating. You're even instigating with Errol Spence. I don't know who asked you or why you felt you need to go this route. But what am I talking about, y'all? He's instigating with throwing Boots in the picture. And although nobody's scared of Boots, Earl is not scared of Boots. Bud is not scared of Boots. We know he's a great fighter. But Boots gotta wait his turn. Don't y'all think? He has to wait his turn. I don't know why he don't think he has to. I don't feel like he's tripping. I think he's doing it the right way. I'm talking about Boots. He calls these guys out, but he ain't annoying with it. You know what I'm saying? And then Boots turn right around and do what they doing to him to others. So I know he's not against it. And I'm going to prove that to y'all because I have a receipt of his dad talking. This is a very recent receipt. But according to Whiteeee, he's calling out Bud. He wants Bud. He wants Bud. Like that's his main priority. He just really needs to get a fight with Bud. And if Bud don't answer, then Bud comes off like a duck. But my recollection is he really been calling out Spence. And they kind of doing him dirty. They kind of doing Spence dirty. But then again, they doing everybody dirty in these boxing streets here lately. Demetrius said Boots has to fight Castillo Clayton to get the IBF mandatory fight. Demetrius, I heard he's been made the #1 mandatory. Now, they will, this is what I mean by boxing streets getting, doing each other dirty, because if you're the #1, that should be a no-brainer if you are the #1 contender. But nowadays, you can make it to #1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that panel of the sanctioning body is going to get together and pick who's going to be who. Now, all these long months or this last year or during the pandemic forward, we have not had problems with the IBF. So I'm not really concentrating on the IBF just yet because I can't really say, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, that we have been seeing some tomfoolery when it comes to the IBF. Demetrius said, by the way, Lucas Santamaria is replacing Josecito Lopez for the Abel Ramos fight. Now, Demetrius, now that we know who replacing, do you still think that fight is worth $75, as we was talking about yesterday? I don't think none of the fights was worth that. And I do want to clarify what when I said it kind of started with Mayweather was worth it though. I didn't say that yesterday, but I didn't like the fact that Mayweather went up on the price, because I remember, like I said, I remember when it was like 60, maybe in the 50s. Then all of a sudden they were $75, $80 fights. Then next thing you know, it was 100, and it went just like that. But that started with Mayweather. But Mayweather is worth it. He has a whole lot of more fans than most boxers ever did or ever will. He had more people hating him that will pay to see him lose than most fighters ever will or has. And so for Mayweather, it was worth it. But I asked you guys in the chat, since we have all these replacements on the Barrios and Keith Thurman card, is it worth $75? I think to reintroduce Keith Thurman back in the fold, because I think he's the top welterweight up there with Terrence and Spence and Boots, all of them. I think he's up there with them. Should we be like slowly reintroduced? Now I understand why Keith felt a certain way, because he was like, yo, y'all need to support me. Why y'all just gonna, not support me? But it's the way the PBC handle their business. They got it to the point where you can't even put fights like this on regular TV. And the position that they trying to put Keith Thurman in is some tomfoolery. Now, if I was Keith and they doing that to me, I'm going to take that ball and run with it. So you can't really be mad at the fighter. But this is when I say the managers, the promoters, and the sanctioning bodies is interjecting themselves way too much into the fight. It's like that's the pecking order. We paying to see them and what their vision is and what they want. instead of paying to see the person who's doing the damn thing, which is the fighter. And that's not right. That Lucas guy beat Devin Alexander and Michael Fox. Still a decent card, especially after watching the press conference. Thurman looks good, but drained. You think he looked drained? That's interesting. I actually think he looked a lot better. I don't know if I didn't see the press conference, so I got to see how he's. It's one thing to get a picture, and it's one thing to talk, and see him move and all that. So I feel you, Demetrius. I got to go back and check out that press conference. But just from the pictures, he looked in great shape. When he got off the airplane, because he got to Vegas, right? I guess he got to do his medical screening and all that. He was with his wife and his baby. He looked like he was moving regular. I don't think Thurman will ever leave the welterweight division either. He's been there all his career too. So I mean, again, if the networks had the money or budgeted their money right, you could put Thurman on Showtime for free or regular TV, like they did in the beginning, and he would make a good paycheck, and he's going to endear people back to him. And then Thurman has charisma. I mean, you can't teach that. You either got it or you don't. So that's the plus for him. But back to Whitey. You're instigating. And you don't care who you hurt. But right now, Whiteeee Garcia is on a campaign for money. Now, I do always say, if a boxer, if that's all they want to do is go for the money, so be it. That's them. But if they want something more, like they want to give us the Super Bowl, then we got to know that as fans. I don't think it's fair to keep that away from your fans, because you're playing without, in my case, black dollars. And you ought not do that. That's what PBC is doing right now. And that's why I'm not supporting the PBC. And I apologize today, going forward, anybody who gets caught up in that inadvertently. I apologize to Bud. I apologize to Spence. I apologize to Keith. I apologize to any of them, Boots, any of them. Because I'm not buying no more PBC. My deadline is December 31st. I don't know what I'm going to do, because I'm addicted. I'm a fanatic. I'm a boxing fan. And I give myself a year to see how long I can maintain my protest. But I don't know how long it's going to last. Birdman, salute. Miss Trey Queen and Demetrius Bright, salute family. What you mean, T? I was going to say, did I miss a queen? I think you meant T. But as I say, Mikey / Whitey, you're on that money grab train, remember? We're not mad at you. But tell us. And even if you don't tell us, we'll see it. And then we, as fans, can decide whether or not we want to line your pocket. But don't come in here and start instigating stuff. Because that's exactly what you're doing. Stay in your lane. Who asked you anyway? Better yet, who is greasing your palms to push this narrative? This is why we have the animosity between two great fighters, Errol Spence and Bud Crawford, right now today. Because the narrative's like this. I froze up, but I hope you guys can hear me. Everything will be good. And it'll be normal if these bullcrap narratives don't get pushed out. If the fighters themselves, Errol Spence and Bud, don't put their foot in their mouth. So, I mean, as the fighters go, those two will face each other. Whitey, you're not cemented into the 147 division. You're not really cemented there. So why speak on it? I always have a rule, like sometimes guys say too much. Your bravado and your ego get the best of you. But if you're in the division and you're talking about somebody that you could potentially face, cool. I don't think Bud Crawford pays you no mind, Whitey, at all. Now, you saw something with Spence between seas getting your ass whipped. Now, I don't know how you missed that, because everybody, Ray Charles could have saw that. But you didn't see that. But everybody saw it when you talking about something, you saw something with Spence. Let's hit those likes as we enter the square circle. Zactamundo, smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. That's why you can't invest in people like Mike. That person that's on the money grab. It depends. Depends on the fighter. If I saw that you made a gallant effort in your career, and at the end of your career, when you're going down on the slope, and you try to do a money grab, I can give you examples. Keith Thurman said, don't write him out. He said he really is coming back to be that man. That we can respect. So basically telling me I'm going for the Super Bowl of boxing. So I can get behind Keith. If Keith decided to just do money grabs, I wouldn't be mad at him, because he did make it to the top. What goes up must come down. Everybody ain't Floyd Mayweather, that you get to the top and you just stay there. So I agree. If Keith wanted to money grab, that's cool. Mikey, come on now. You don't have that status. PGH Big Dog is in the building. Salute Queen T. Mikey, you don't have that status. If Gary Russell wanted to get on the money grab train, I can get with that. With certain people. Then y'all gonna be shocked when I say this person can't do it. Not to me. Tank Davis. And I'm a big fan. Love to see him fight. Have always paid for his fights. I even paid for that December fight last year. But the Tank, when he gets over 30, try to do just nothing but money grabs, I'm out. Right now, I support him because he's a young man. And I know he been guided. I'm waiting for, how do y'all say it? How do y'all say it? His nuts to drop and he be his own captain of his ship. I'm just waiting, patient. But once he get over 30, maybe like 31, 32, he is what he is. So his money grabs, I won't be there. As a real boxing fan, I won't be there. It's not my job to make certain people rich. What you doing for me? PGH Big Dog said, damn, boxing needs Thurman to lose. Get out the sport with his BS. I feel you guys who don't like Thurman, and I feel you like that's, you see what you see. For me, PGH, and I hope y'all don't hate me for it. I still like Thurman. I still think he's a notable contender. PGH Big Dog said, at Demetrius Bright, salute fam. He said Tank needs to let his nuts hang and fight some real competition. Yeah, you said it better than I could. That's what you guys always say. Let your nuts drop or something. But PGH, if he gets to be about 30, 31, you think that's going to happen? Or he too late? Because he's getting dangerously close to being too late. Because I heard he's like 27 years old now. Mikey, you tried to cherry pick and got your ass in a whole heap of trouble. And I don't want to say the guy, when I say he's a no-name, he ain't nobody, it's just because we don't know him over here in the States. Nobody knew him. We know you. You're an American. You have been kind of in the club because you've been a champion before, and you dropped the Regis fight for that and then got your ass whooped. Now you out here trying to push the boots thing. You need to worry about your loss and figure out how you gonna rejuvenate your career. But I'm gonna see. Hold on. Let me see if I can play this for y'all. And as always, when I play things, I don't own it. I have, this is something on here, and I think it's for all of us. So I don't own it, but I'm gonna play it for y'all. Before I do that, let me get this chat. Thurman held up the welterweight division for years with his faking injuries and ducking ass. Let's go Barrios in that. All right, PGA. I know a lot of people feel that way. At Birds Man, salute fam. But I think he had legitimate injuries. And the reason why I can't feel that way about him is the same reason I can't feel a certain way about Spence with his eye injury. Y'all have never heard me on here say anything negative, like really about his eye injury, like he's faking it or anything like that. In fact, for months, I was saying he need to wait till August. I want to see what Earl gonna do. Earl says he's gonna go up to 154. Preferably, he might even go up to 160. But if he jumped the gun, he might get stifled in the process. So I worry about that. I didn't want him to stifle his progress in his career. But this thing was Boozy said this shit January 31st, 2022. What, a couple of days ago? January 31st was Monday. What's today? Shit. Today Wednesday. So he said this a couple of days ago. So when y'all read these narratives out there talking about, especially people like Whiteeeee Garcia of all people, pushing this Boost narrative, listen to what Boost dads had to say.
You know what I mean? Because it don't make sense for you to fight some guys that's ranked 13, ranked 14. Them guys don't have, they take chances. They'll take a chance. You know what I mean? But what we get out the deal? Once we beat him, we should have beat him. You know what I mean? We want to fight somebody that's on our level or over our level. You know what I mean? Then we can tell where we coming from. You know what I mean? All I heard is, we was trying to get the David Avenesian, but he said he'll fight us. After this fight, he get my fight. And I ain't hear nothing from the boy Crowley. But Crowley, they said Crowley, he didn't even take the number one spot. So he still ranked 13 somewhere. So we ain't worrying about him. We worrying about the guys. What's the boy named David? No, something.
But I was going to say, Castillo Clayton moved from 14 to 5.
14 to 5.
Yeah, he moved from the new rankings came out. Boots is the highest ranked IBF fighter.
Yeah.
And then after that it's Virgil Ortiz, and then it's Castillo Clayton. So everybody's speculating that the IBF is going to order Castillo Clayton versus Boots.
Oh, they ordered it, we take it, you know what I mean? But we want the top guy. Well, we'll take that in a heartbeat, right? You know what I mean?
Do you feel like that the top guys are just going to either move up or just wait Boots out?
I don't know what they want to do, but I know it's all about business, man. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they're trying to do. Like I said, and like I always say, these guys are not scared. It's a business move, man. You know what I mean? And Boots is a high risk, low reward. You know what I mean? Like I've been saying for a long time. You know what I mean? These guys is smart, man. You know what I mean? I would do the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sugarcoat it or nothing like that. I would do the same thing they were doing if I was in that position. You know what I mean? Why would I fight him? You know what I mean? Which I should be talking about them. They should be fighting him, but I'm telling the truth. I know the business game of boxing. You know what I mean?
When does the business stop and legacy continue, or is they're all intertwined?
Well, when is it going to stop? Because he keep on knocking all of the top guys off. They're going to have to fight him, or they're going to get move up, or like I said, shit'll get up the pot. You know what I mean?
When can we expect him back in the ring? Spring?
March or even April. We're supposed to be discussing this week. So we'll find out this week.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Some fans are clamoring for a hometown fight.
Yeah, that's what I want.
That's what you want?
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what we're working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any added pressure? Like, you were a fighter. Any added pressure to fighting at home as opposed to being on the road? Where,
Boots don't care where he fight at. He don't care where he fight. I think he like fighting better at home. I like when we fight away, but he like better at home.
So y'all hear that, right? Y'all hear that? That's the man's father. He would know. That was 2 days ago. Of course, when you're a fighter, you said Boots is doing the right thing. I want the top guys. You know why you want the top guys? They have the belts. I want to be champion. And then I want to unify. And then I want to be undisputed. So Boots right now in his career, he has the right attitude. But you just heard him. He ain't mentioned Terrence. He ain't really mentioned Spence. He was talking about the people right where he is right now. You've always heard me say Terrence, Spence, and Ugas are the three with the belt. And they three should only concentrate on them three. If Ugas is worrying about Boots, he worrying wrong. He's thinking wrong. If Spence or Bud is worrying about Boots, they thinking wrong. You also heard Bozy say, I would do the same thing. It's a business move. As you see that guy who called out Boots doing the same thing to him. And that's just how it is. If I'm going to decide to be mad at something, I guess I'm going to go across the board with it. I can be mad at individuals or individual things, but for the most part, I'm not going to ever be mad at a fighter for something they do that's in the realm of them being a fighter, especially when I see that they turn around and do the same thing. What Keith Thurman did to Errol Spence, I can see why some would say, oh, he stiff-armed him. He avoided him. He was ducking. But I can also see that Boots doing that to that guy behind him. And then if we think about fighters that came before Keith, they did that too. So are they doing something out of the pocket or out of the norm? Or are they doing the normal stuff? That's the question. PGH Big Dog said, whoa, Kimo-san. Can't compare Spence's legitimate injuries to Thurman lying about his injuries. We all saw the car crash and medical reports. Thurman is trash for antics. But PGH, did we see everything in depth? An injury is an injury. As far as I know, they had somebody posted the guy about trying to explain the eyeball and that type of injury that Earl experienced. He was a doctor. I don't know or recall if he was Earl's doctor, but I don't think he was. I think he was a specialist in that field, so he was talking about it. Earl showed us with the eye patch a picture. If he came out, might have showed a diagnosis sheet. That's not going in depth. That's not all the way proven, but it's acceptable. So did Keith. That's why I'm saying it's the same, PGH. To me, it's the same a little bit because what Keith said, he had injuries. I can tell y'all for the last week that my ball of my foot has been swollen. I don't know why this thing making noise. Sorry, y'all. I done turned it off. The bottom of my foot has been swollen. You can't see that. My hands have been swollen. Every day something is swollen, but y'all don't see it. And I be sitting here in pain. You know why I be in pain? Because I'm tired of taking medicine. Tired of taking that stuff. It has side effects. But I be sitting here in pain, and it's part of my autoimmune disorder. I can't do nothing about it. But when y'all look at me, do y'all see a person that's really injured? I know that feeling. I know that feeling of somebody looking at you saying, oh, ain't nothing wrong with you just because they can't see. We saw as much as they wanted us to see. There's a HIPAA thing. They don't, have to go too far into their medical, history. And I don't blame none of them, not Spence, not Keith, not none of them. It is not a far stretch to think that if you've been boxing and fighting since you was a little boy, you've sustained injuries and you try to do it the natural way and just heal. But when you get a certain age, stuff don't just work that good anymore. And he had to address it. Sir Antbo is in the building. Salute, squadron. Look at that. I like that too, Sir Antbo. ATL Unanimous Boxing Sports is in the building with Poppy King. Miss T, salute Queen Cook. Sir Antbo giving the clap. I see you, King. So that's the only thing, PGH. I do feel and understand how y'all feel. I really don't have a defense for it. I could just tell you that I just have a different perspective of it. Fair enough? Yeah, I just have a different perspective. Demetrius right. It is not our business in the public to see these fighters' private injuries. If he wasn't cleared to fight, he wasn't cleared to fight. Fact. As fans, it's not our business. HIPAA violation all day. Exactamundo. But these fighters like Earl and like Keith and like countless others try to give you a little bit something like, I'll give you a prime example who didn't show us any proof, but we had to eat that shit. That was Teofimo Lopez. And I was a fan of Teofimo Lopez. He do a lot of young boy shit. Because, I have kids a little bit younger than him, but like close in age. They like right there. He probably a couple of years older, 3 years older. I just push it off like, oh, he's still a little boy. Because that's what he is to me. So little boys and little girls, even when they're young adults, still need to grow and get their mind right. So I give allowances. When the allowances is gone is when you're in your early 30s, maybe late 20s. But never once have I said, I charged him up for it. Like, hey, we ain't see no paperwork saying you had COVID. But I would never want to see, okay, he went to the doctor and they did this procedure and they did that. And even that doctor that came out and said that T.O. was had that problem with his air, with his lungs during the fight with Cambosos, that was good enough for me. As Demetrius said, HIPAA violation all day. Earl coming out with just a picture of his eye patch, or just a paper saying, hey, I failed. It could have been just, I failed the physical screening to have the Manny Pacquiao fight. That was good enough for me. That was good enough for me. The only thing I can say, and it's not Earl bashing or nothing like that. Like, I'm just talking most recent. It's like, I kept advocating, wait. But I do realize it's a warrior sport. And a lot of men feel differently. They say, I've been told, Miss T, it's the mama in you that be saying, baby, wait. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the wisdom in me. But I'm outnumbered. And I said, I'm going to stop saying that. But I do wish that Earl Spence would wait to August. And then just go right into the fight with Bud. Give yourself a chance for that healing to be cemented, like good healing. You ever heal up? Like you might have a scab or something, it looked like your real skin, but you scratch it a little rough, a little rougher than you were touching that area, and it pop right back open or something. Or you leave it alone for months, and then you go to scratch it, and it's good as new. That's what I mean with his eye. We'll see. He can only tell us how he feel, and we're gonna have to go with what that grown man say. He's not a little boy. Heath is not a little boy. They made choice. They will all make choices and put their foot in their mouth. And when it comes to Keith, I'd rather judge him by his accolades and what he do in the square circle, rather than just pissing Errol Spence off. I can't be mad at him for that. I really do believe a lot of people don't like him because Earl don't like him, and I just can't rock with that. And that's not Earl's fault, because when Earl had no way of knowing that his fans was gonna take that ball and run with it. So that's how I see it. PGA's Big Dog say Thurman got stripped of 2 belts because he wouldn't fight, faking injuries and straight BS. But we don't know that he was faking. He said, how can we prove we don't know him? We wasn't right there with him. We don't have no inside track with him. But next time somebody stick a microphone in his face, that could be a question that they ask. Like, can you, to satisfy the fans, prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you had real injuries? And he might turn around and feel like, why should I? Y'all not asking that of others. Or he might turn around and say, fine, I'll do it. I want to see the Thurman and ESG fight. The difference with Thurman's car accident is there is no record or police report for it. That's why many people question Thurman's accident. It might be. We just haven't seen it. But I feel you, if you do the basic search and you don't find it, I mean, you got to go by what you saw and what you can see. Smash the like button up in this piece. Smash the like button when you come into the square circle. Please. Thank you very much. Demetrius Bright said ESG is trying to make the most money he can make while trying to get belts. He's sad for missing that big bag, for missing that Manny fight. I believe that he is, Demetrius. I believe he is trying to make a lot of money. And I never listen to it. I'm gonna tell you, if ESG was a money grabber type fight, ESJ, I'm sorry, if he was a money grabber type fight, oh, y'all would hear me talking a whole lot different. Like, damn near disrespectful. That's his reprieve. He is trying to be a champion. He is trying to go to the boxing Super Bowl. We got to come up with a name that's different than Super Bowl, but I don't know no other analogy I can compare the two. Because they're saying the undisputed is not cutting it. It's got to be like they got Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, the World Series. We gotta find something for boxing. Birdman said, Miss T, you have to also put into consideration that sports medicine and recovery is light years on where it used to be, and they have all type of machines now that heal you faster and better. The body, I feel you, Birdman, but I also see it this way too. The body is the body. You can have different machinery that do different approaches to fixing things, but healing, that's still the way God made us. There's no pill you can take to say, let me heal faster. That's all genetic. That's all how you heal. That's like when I heal, my skin, even though I have the worst skin disorder, you guys will say, oh, Miss T, you glowing. Look at your skin. I never had acne like talking about it. I mean, I've had a bump or two. Let me rechange how I say this. I've experienced acne, for sure. I've had discoloration in my skin, as you can see. Which eye? Yeah, this eye. I'm under regular lights, y'all. I have no makeup. But this eye, you see a little darkness there? I experienced skin issues. The worst being, as y'all see my hands, they actually got better. But y'all remember, let me see. Y'all remember? Look. I don't know if y'all can see it. There's a difference. See my arms? The back of my legs, my back, my neck. I mean, sometimes in my neck. I don't know if you can see this. If I told you they cut me from here to here to pull out a whole organ, you wouldn't believe it. But you can tell right here. But one thing I don't have a problem with is healing. I heal very well, and quicker than most people. I also do not keloid, and every excuse to keloid. Every excuse to. The way they be cutting me up in the same spots, I've had surgery in the same spots, having the same cut. They cut me on my bikini line, waist to waist, twice. No keloid. You can barely see a mark. It looks just like my neck. Everybody heals. I say all that to say, everybody heals the way they heal. No rhyme or reason. You know, I could be like this. My siblings could actually be keloid types. I don't think they are, but they could be. But, you know, whatever medicine they give me to help with the healing process, it will not speed up, or you can't take stuff to slow shit down, but I don't think you can take nothing that can speed up the process of healing. Like you take a shot or you take a pill or you rub some cream and it just hurry up. It's you. It's mostly you. I think I read that one. ESJ is trying to make the most. I think I read that one. Okay, and Sir Antbo, living foods. There you go, Sir Antbo. Look at you. How you know I was going there? Living foods, omega-3s, fruit, olive oil, and water. 90 days. Watch. Sir Antbo, I'm actually doing that right now. When I get off, I made me right before I came on. I made me a nice concoction of spinach, carrots. I got some blueberries. What else? I got a couple of Honey Crisp apples. It's a couple and some pears. It's made me a juice. That is dinner tonight. I'll be doing mine, and I'm gonna just story time and me break right here. I'm gonna because this could be one of the questions that I ask when I'm giving that TV away when I get up to 1,200 subscribers. I have told y'all back in September and I think November how much weight I lost. I have been consistent with my journey, and I do a stricter journey, but that medicine is preventing things, and I can't help it. I don't like it, but that was why I had my goal this year of trying to get off that shit, because it's being counterproductive. If I had my thyroid gland like you guys, it wouldn't even matter. But I don't make metabolism. I don't have a drop of it in my body. Nada. And the reason I ain't 500 or 800 pounds is because of genetics. That's it. That's the only reason. Because it's one of them type things. So I have to eat right just to be healthy. Does that mean I'm going to live long as I wish I do? I don't know. But I got to do something, right? So when it comes to medical aspects, you know, and maybe I'm biased because, and I'll admit that, maybe I'm biased because I feel like you can't always judge how a person can heal or what ailments they have by just looking at them or how you feel about them. That, to me, that's dangerous territory, because sometimes people be fucked up looking normal. Now, I will tell you what keeps my skin clear, at least in my face, is water. I bullshit you not. When I start drinking a lot of water, those dark areas, they go away. The dark areas on my eyelids, that's natural. I just naturally have shade on my eyes. That's why I don't wear makeup. I mean, because I have a skin disorder and it irritates me. So I never learned how to put makeup on, nor do I want to, but makeup have a lot of toxins in it. And makeup is also made out of placenta. We used to be for years. I don't know if they still doing it, but why would the fuck I would want somebody else's placenta? I don't even want my own placenta on me. But nowadays people eat that shit and they put it in products and y'all use it all on your body and stuff. Nah, I pass. So when we talk about injuries, I just be feeling that way, because you never know what somebody got and what they're dealing with, how extensive something is. And You have to go by what they say, and if they lying, they lying. It all come out in the wash. If Keith Thurman don't make it back to the top of the throne, guess what? It came out in the wash. But if Keith Thurman is trying to be that man to get back to the top, I can respect that. Javante, you're getting a pass because you're young. You're a young man, and I know you be influenced and guided. We waiting for your nuts to drop, as I think PGH said it best. Waiting for your nuts to drop, and you make your own decision, become the captain of your ship. But everybody else, Whiteeee Garcia, you too old for this money grab. But if that's what you're doing, maybe you feel like, or that you ain't got long in this thing called boxing. But don't be out there instigating, because that's exactly what you're doing. Birdman said facts in his teeth. Thank you, King. That is exactly what you're doing. And you just heard Bozy. Now, I hear people call him Boozy, but I would think that's two O's. But I said Bozy. If I'm saying his name incorrectly, I apologize. Shout out to you, King. But if he was really pressed about Terrence Crawford, he would have said it, right? He would have even mentioned Spence. He mentioned the people right there beside him, in front of him, and this, that, and the other. He's willing to go up the ladder the right way. He's willing to wait his turn. And you can hear that in his conversation. He didn't even mention Spence. But his son is positioning himself for a showdown with Spence. The reason why we can say it is because he's number one IBF. And then he's positioning himself. He's in the top 3 of the WBC and WBA. None of those belts Terrence Crawford got. Those 3 positionings only guarantee him a showdown with none other than ESJ. That's why, and he's vocally said he wants to fight with Errol, but he's called them all out years ago. Y'all heard me talk about it. And I said that's no different than EJ calling out Thurman when Thurman was at the top and EJ was at the bottom. Spence, Crawford, and Ugas don't need to look at Boots. Not right now. I don't care if some of them are sitting on the shelf. If you have an opportunity to go for Undisputed, the Super Bowl of Super Bowls, you need to do that. And anybody that's trying to insert themselves in it, they can go eat a dick. So, and that's pretty much how I see that one playing out. Oh shit, y'all. Hold on one second. Let me see how loyal y'all really are. Somebody at my door. I have to go get that. The only one here right now. So y'all hold tight. 1 second. I gotta let the green screen down and everything. Hold on. This motherfucker keep ringing. Whew, my bad, y'all. It's my kid. The key wasn't working. Whew, Lord. That was a little job. That's my exercise for the night. And y'all still with me? I hope so. I apologize, y'all. Lord have mercy. Y'all be like, Miss T, I'm way on one end of the house. I gotta go way on the other end of the house. Then downstairs. Then way to the front of the house. I know y'all say, T, how big your house is? Motherfucker big. And I ain't planning on running tonight. You said have the Glock ready. Yeah, I got my window cracked a little bit, so I kind of see that her car had pulled up. I was like, why would she be ringing? But sometimes I gotta get new locks because sometimes I keep getting jammed. And she persistent as hell. Look, damn kids is impatient as hell. And I call her kid because she a kid to me, but you're a grown lady. Still in college and shit. Impatient as hell. So I'm like, damn. And then it's my daughter. If it's my son, it'd be different. Nigga, wait. That's how I be acting. Nigga, wait. But, it's dark. You ringing the bell, frantic, like, I don't know who the fuck who wanted with me, but I feel you have your Glock ready. My Glock's sitting right here next to me, though. Well, I don't have a Glock. You know what I mean. A 45. No, it's a 40. It's a 40. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's one of them. Because I don't know. We already mapped out there's so many places to hide in my house. I told her, because my son is in the Navy, but I told her, something go down, get in these hiding places, and I don't give a fuck how bad I scream or nothing, don't you ever come out. Let me go ahead and die on my sword. But I'm blasting. There's only one way up, and I got cameras in, said you can't hide from the cameras. And I can see you with my phone. As soon as you crack the top of the stairs, I'm unloading. Now, do I travel with my, piece? No. Because I am superstitious. I do believe you invite trouble when you, people who carry guns all the time. It is not an absolute. It's the weirdest kind of thing because I haven't figured it out. I know plenty of dudes who stay strapped no matter where they go, just as pleasant as they want to be, just as calm, cool, collective, just as diplomatic. My kind of people. But then you got them knuckleheads that stay strapped that always got some shit with them. But for some reason, I got this little superstition. And I feel like if I was to carry a gun around everywhere, then I'm going to have an issue where I need a gun. And I don't want to have that. So I don't even get on the highway with it. I might change though. Like going through Florida or some shit, I might have to. So I feel you, Demetrius with the Glock. Sir Ampo say, yo, dairy messes up the skin too, squad. Sodium keeps folks bloated with high blood pressure. I try to eliminate as much salt out my diet because why? Salt is in everything, natural. So I've never been that person though that cook and pour salt, never. But you have to have salt in your life like you have water because salt affects your calcium. Believe it or not, they go hand in hand. And that first is a pecking order. It's vitamin D, then calcium, and the salt. So vitamin D to get the calcium, then the salt. And all this, you got to drink milk. Bullshit a lot of. Check them nutrition facts on the back, folks. And they'll sell you pills till you die. Matter of fact, what we say on my wellness show, they don't even put every nutritional thing on the package. Did y'all know that? Sir Ampo is so true. So right. They don't. So how can you... This is why I always say diets don't work. I talk more extensively about it. Like I said on my wellness show on Sunday at 1 p.m. How can you properly diet for something that you don't know is in there? How can you count those calories? Make sense? Fair enough? How can you count those calories? Because they're not showing you they in there, but they're there. And meanwhile, you counting what you see that's on the label. You think you're doing something. You're like, why am I not? That's why. And some people bodies can tolerate more than others. You know, in my family, out of all my siblings, I'm the only one that damn near have a death problem. Like, I mean, it could be the death of me when it comes to fake ass sugar. Nobody else in my family got this problem. The only one. Sheldon, I hope your audio is good. What's up, boy?
How it sound?
It sounds better. It do. Do you hear the music?
Yes, I do.
It's cool, right?
I love it. I love it. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm just cooking on this. While Whiteeeee Garcia trying to throw Boots in the equation, he's instigating. I'm trying to tell folks how. I played the video of Bozy as of 2 days talking about who they expect to have next. They won't talk about no ESG and no Bud Crawford, other than the fact that if you in the division, who don't want the top guys? I mean, that's just a natural response. But he was naming off people that's on Boost level or right in front of him or right behind him. He also made a distinction of if you could go back, and he said, if we rank number 3, I'm not gonna go get the 13th ranked person. That don't make sense. But he said, if you in the top 5, hell yeah, I want it. If you maybe even like 5 or 6, I mean, that's the gist of what he was saying. But this narrative is getting pushed, and they grabbing people like I feel you can't trust. Whiteeeee Garcia is on the money campaign. Why is he insinuating or trying to instigate Boots for Bud? And again, my position has always been, hey, Bud, Spence, and Ugas need to worry about them 3. That's all. They need to just worry about themselves. But I was gonna tell you, let me cook a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you guys how in the end it's hurting ESJ too. I'm gonna tell y'all, just follow with me because I'm almost there. So where did I leave off? Because I be getting sidetracked. So Boost is ranked number 1 with the IBF. Y'all know the IBF have not been doing no tomfoolery here lately. So if he's ranked number 1, they can only be talking about ESG. ESJ, I keep saying G. His dad, you heard him say, is a business move. His dad, you heard him say, is a high risk, low reward. And he said, I don't blame him, meaning they do the same thing as the top guys do. So it's not a duck or ignore or anything like that. He's ranked number 3 in the WBA and WBC. Again, none of that has anything to do with Terrence Crawford. So it looked like he's gearing up to try to take ESJ place. And they all but say it. And this was 2 days ago, December 30th, 2021, and it says straight out his mouth, he want that fight. He want that fight with Spence, or he have to vacate. And I'm paraphrasing. So why Whiteeeee Garcia is now trying to say, oh, Bud, you're instigating, dude. If Bud and Ugas were easy marks, no one would be pushing Boots on EJ or Bud. That's what I think. They really wouldn't be talking about EJ. I mean Bud, or stuff, or Ugas, because they feel like, oh, Spence gonna watch him out, then just go for Spence. And which he is trying to go for Spence. Whether, even if somebody say, well, I don't see it, I don't see the clip of him saying it. Look at what he's doing. He's in the top for WBA and WBC. Who got the WBC? Spence. Who got the WBA? Ugas. He's number 1 and been pushing for that, advocating for it in IBF. Who got the IBF? Spence. Where does Bud name come into this? Because if Bud don't call him out back, like answer the call, the narrative gonna be like, you scared of Boots. And I'm just heading it off. That's what I'm talking about. I wonder what they had to give you. That's what I'm talking about when I think about Whiteeeee Garcia. And who asked you anyway? They are, let me see, they're treating him like he's a wounded dog. And that's the unfair part that they doing with Spence. You see how Boost is jumping on, he trying to get with Spence. A lot of people treating Spence like he's a wounded dog. Like, because they looking at it like the wreck and the eye injury. You know, even though a lot of people can be fans of Spence, hey, he's still a human being, and that shit will fuck anybody up. So, why cause? Let me see. What did I put down? Why cause the wreck? Okay, and the age, because he's in his 30s now, and for boxing, that's old. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're dealing with a wreck and an eye injury, all of that stuff together. The devaluing of fighters started with them, but now everybody is on his back. And what I mean by that, I've been watching boxing a while, and Shelton, you correct me if I'm wrong. I never really heard nobody devaluing fighters until Spence. And I'm not being biased, guys, because I know mostly everybody in here is Spence fans. Tell me whatever's going down before that. Like, you ain't worth this, you can't do that, you can't sell. I never heard that talk before. It was more so, I'll beat your motherfucking ass. It was that kind of talk. But since that is the norm now, guess what? Guess who's getting devalued? And they trying to put them out the pasture. It's like what you use would be used on you. That's what I'm seeing. Because even though they talk the shit and they trying to be coy, and they trying to get themselves in position, they really gunning down Spence. What you think, Sheldon?
Well, first of all, what did Mikey say? Because I didn't see what did he say.
Let me go back to my notes. He just basically said, he basically was hyping up the fact that that Bruce Ennis was coming after Bud, or he won't Bud. He's calling for Bud, and Bud not answering. Basically, what he was saying.
Well, see here.
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Let me actually turn this down all the way. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You both.
We don't
boxing.
hear me.
Can you hear me now?
I gotta actually turn it off. I do this every time. Hold on, y'all. Okay, go ahead now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Both know that is the ultimate done for me lately business. Am I right?
Yeah.
So the people that are down playing Spence talk about maybe he's a wounded animal because of the eye injury and the car wreck. They have a right to say that because you don't know what Spence you're gonna get after 2 back-to-back injuries and a long layoff. You don't know what you're gonna get. As Mikey talking up Boots, Mikey, we all know is chasing the bag right now. To be a champion, he knows he can't beat any of those top guys. He's just chasing the bag right now. And I saw that somebody in the chat said that he called out Crawford. Mikey don't want that fight, but Mikey will take it because it's a bag. Mikey knows he can't win that fight, just like he beat Errol. I don't care what he says. He knew he wasn't going to beat Errol Spence. He wanted the bag, $7 million. So I don't put too much credence in anything Mikey's saying because you know what Mikey coming off a loss. He's trying to stay relevant. Hopefully he can get one more bag before he ride off into the sunset. But like you said, Boots is one in the IBF and number 3 or number 1 in the W. No, he's number 3 in the WBC because Burns is number 1 in the WBC.
And number 3 in WBA.
In the WBA. None of that has anything to do with Bud Crawford. None of it. That has to do with Ugas and that has to do with Errol. Those are the fights he can get. Is he ranked at all in the WBO?
Nope. Not Boots. Well, he is, I'm sure, but not relevant. I don't even think he's number 5. If he's number 5 or 6, one of those. I don't know for sure, but I'm
like I said, Miss T, the fights he can get are Ugas and Errol. That's why he's pushing for those fights, because those are fights that can be made. The Bud fight can't be made right now.
He didn't even position himself with the sanctioning bodies for the WBO. And we all know now that's pretty much who be running the show too. They got more credence in deciding who be fighting next than the fighters. It seems to be that way. And like there's fighters like Deontay. Why isn't Deontay like in the top 5 of all the sanctioning belts bodies? He's not. But
well, I'm answer that. I don't think you should be ranked the top five coming off of 2 straight losses. I don't think you should be ranked coming off 2 straight losses.
See, that's what we'll disagree because I don't really count that second fight. And you know how I feel that he really won. They just took it from him. I just feel that, but I know that's a dead issue. I accept the results. Like you said yesterday, you said, hey, no matter what I think, but it is what it is. You know, it's basically the record says XYZ. So I'm accepting the record. I got to move on past that. But he knocked him out the first. When we saw that knockout, he was unconscious. Fight should have been over. He took 17 seconds to get up in the third fight. Fight should have been over. So, you know, Deontay can't fight Tyson, the ref, and the fucking judges. But that's just me thinking, you guys. And I know I have no power in none of that. So I let it go and I move on. But I would never accept the fact that Deontay lost to Tyson Fury. That second fight, that's a whole nother bag of worms. It's almost like I don't even count it because it was just too much cheating going on. Unrecognized, unvalidated, you know, by the people that should validate it. And I mean, I just feel like Deontay got done dirty, but he did lose. So if you say, I don't think coming out 2 losses, he should be in the top 5. One can argue that because legitimately, and in the books, he is coming off 2 losses. That was just my personal to the situation, you know. But Mikey, I'm gonna tell the Spence fans, don't let him throw monkey wrenches into everybody's stuff. He's not a factor. He's not even a guaranteed 147. We know he came up there because he saw something. None of us saw it. We don't know what the fuck he saw because all of us, including his brother and his dad, saw that you could not beat no damn Errol Spence. I don't know how he missed that. I saw something.
I know Miss T. I know what he saw.
Money.
He's some right his ass. That's his ass. That's what he saw.
Yeah, and y'all think about it. Mikey has had 2 $7 million payday. Is Mikey really? Is he really? And I hate to say it, but how is he worth $7 million? Earl Spence don't even get $7 million in the fight guaranteed. How is he worth that?
You gotta see. It's not about what you're worth. It's about what you can negotiate.
Yeah, and he got favor, so he was able to do what he did. Demetri said Boots has called out both Spence and Crawford. Ironically, Whiteeee Garcia called out Crawford today since they both don't have fights. Yeah, he's trying to throw a monkey wrench. If we're not gonna let Boots, a legitimate 147, get to either 3 of those guys, and most people, I ain't say everybody, but most people believe if they're at the cusp of trying to become undisputed, they don't need to look at neither one of them need to be looking backwards. Even Bozy said, I understand. I would do the same thing. Sir Ambo said, Boost hungry. He wanted bad. Reminds me of EJ years back. True that. And Demetri said, Boots wants to be champion by the end of the year. He wants champions, but like I said, Castillo, Clayton, and Boots fights in a couple of months. And that's who he should worry about. So why Mikey is now? Right? What you say?
They fighting him and Castillo. They fighting for a mandatory shot.
Are they on the IBF? Yeah, they are. They are. Right, Demetrius? I think they are. Birdman said Mikey and his brother always talking bullshit. They straight haters. Yeah. Boots is number 2 for the WBO. As I said, Castillo, Clayton, and Boots are fighting for the IBF mandatory spot. See, that don't have nothing to do with Bud. If you fighting for the mandatory, are you gonna get out of that line and go try to worry about another line where you don't have that kind of positioning?
No. You making perfect. T. You try to get the fight that you can get. I'm in the IBF later. That's the fight. That's the fight I'm gonna win. That I can get that spot. Now, whoever got the IBF championship when I become mandatory, that's
Yeah. Birdman said they need to be calling out the coward in Ortiz. Exactly. That's somebody you can fight, Boots. But Demetri said he has a fight. So after that, if you don't get the mandatory, because Earl Spence better not try to do no mandatory or nothing like that. IBF and them gonna have to wait. After Ugas, it better be Crawford.
Well, see, that's the cool thing about the Crawford fight is it really doesn't matter what sanction it is. Unification trumps mandatory. So if he's going to unify, they can't stand in the way of that.
You would think, but these days, Demetri said right. Ortiz is number one in both the WBA and WBO at Birdman. And then he said Ortiz is number one WBC and WBO, number two for WBA. And Demetri said yes, they are. So that's why I'm saying I see stuff, and what I read, and I try to pick out articles. I mean, like pick out little nuggets, and I be like, what is Mikey doing? What is Whitey doing?
It's the bad. He's trying to and put himself in position, thinking he's still got that name and that recognition for being for poundless at one time, that he can interject himself and maybe get a fight. But he's not big enough, right? If Terrence Crawford fights besides Errol, I'm telling you, I think it'll be Josh Taylor, because that's the biggest back and the biggest name that he can get to.
If the PBC ain't gonna pay Terrence $4 million, and they didn't ask him, but if they have declared that they're not gonna pay Terrence $4 million, why would they pay anybody else something big? And
they got a problem paying Crawford, but they don't have no problem throwing 40 and 50 million every other day.
Yeah, you think they're gonna pay Boots $4 million?
Hell no.
They're not gonna do it. So what Whitey, what are you talking about? I know he want the money, but we gotta ask the deeper questions. I know he's on the money grab. Do I begrudge people when they on the money grab? But as boxing fans, we need to decide, do we want to line their pockets? You going on the money grab, I'm looking for the Super Bowl. You ain't trying to do the Super Bowl. I can't get in that line. And the only way, there's a couple of fighters I can do it for. I could do it for Gary Russell. Believe it or not, I could do it for Keith Thurman, but he's now caught up in my protest. No fault of his own. Nothing against him. But as I told y'all, I'm not doing PBC no more. But so he's caught up in that, and a lot of people are not going to buy no fights from PBC because they bullshit.
Well, look at him, Miss T. Let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he came out and said that he was promised by Al Heyman the winner of Spence Ugas. Do you believe him?
Mikey said that?
No, Thurman said that.
Yeah, he did come out and say that. There's a part of me that believes that. I don't know, there's a little small part of me that believes that. Because they seem like they trying to position him, as we talked about yesterday. I'm right now just giving the benefit of the doubt to the PBC, even though I shouldn't, and trying to see, like, once Earl take care of Ugas or Ugas take care of Earl, they're gonna be talking about Crawford. If they don't, their fate is sealed with me. Like, it's just bullshit. Now, do I know how long
That's why I told you yesterday, Miss T. I don't think we're gonna get that fight because I don't think Heyman wants to take the risk of losing those belts. I think he'll fight anybody on the PBC, anybody but Crawford. And that's my belief. He don't want to fight Crawford.
Mm-hmm. And Boots, for the record, have been calling out all of them. What, 2 or 3 years ago? And I remember when they was like, "Settle down, young Pataquah. Settle down in due time." And you heard Bozy. He said, "I understand." I'm paraphrasing, and but in the context of what he was talking, because I showed a clip, Shelton, of Bozy just talking about who they might want to be facing next. They mentioned that guy Clayton. He said basically, in them top fives, he says the business and he cool with it. But if you're looking at the actions, Boost is gunning for Earl more than he gunning for Crawford. If you're just looking at the actions that he's taking, because he could easily just say, "Fuck all them other sanctioning bodies. I'm gunning for Crawford. Put me in line to get to Crawford." But everything he's doing is putting him in line to get at Spence. Don't
Well,
let
look
Mike
at
come in and
his
throw a
rank highest at. Where's he ranked at, Miss T? Miss T.
We just said what they were ranked. He's not ranked high enough in the WBO.
Right,
I mean,
and
he's
that's
in
my
the top 5, but
because those are can get because Errol has the WBC and Errol has the IBF, so those fights can be made. That's why he's taking that route.
and he won it. Mikey is just trying to go child up and throw a monkey wrench. That's why I asked, who's greasing his palms? See, this is what I call the beginning of the instigation. It's been going on for a minute. He ain't the first, but now you getting somebody who is a legitimate fighter who is actually throwing his instigation tactics in too. Boots is good where he at. He will get his opportunity. Earl, Crawford, and Ugas is the top guys, and they need to work that out. Them three, and for either one of them to reach backwards, they're derailing their own career, in my opinion. Either one.
And that's why I like the fact that Crawford's in the gym. He's working with Amir Khan. He's working with Shakur right now. You know what I'm saying? Just staying tight, staying close to weight, close to shape, and waiting to see how this shakes out. He really can't make a move, in my opinion, until after the last Arrow fight, and that'll unmuddy the waters, and he can see where it's going. Because he probably feels the way we feel, that the winner of this fight should be wanting to fight me next. Right?
And Earl didn't help his case in the sense, and these things can happen. He had a wreck. He made a bad choice. Hopefully he won't do that again. But that shit has an effect on him, whether we see it or not. If we don't see it now, it's his youth that's hiding it. But trust you me, that shit had an effect. That wreck, his eye injury, and Booth is looking at him like food.
What did me and you say yesterday, Miss T?
About
You remember what we said was we both came to the conclusion, me and you. Only question that we have is what Errol show up this fight. Am I right?
Yeah. We have to wait and see. And Booth got to wait his turn. And guess what? Booth's gonna turn right around and make other people behind him wait his turn. Thurman made Spence wait his turn. Well, however we feel about it, Spence is doing the same thing. Thurman made Spence wait his turn. He was stiff arming Bud as well. However we feel about it, but then Bud and Spence doing the same thing for people behind them. And look at Boots. Boots doing the same thing, and anybody who come up behind Boots gonna do the same thing. So we as fans got to be smarter and be like, that's just normal how they get down, and don't put too much credence in it.
Well, look at what's happening. The same thing is 135. Cambosis is making them all. You got to until I figure out what I want to do.
Yep. That's just now that is truly the business of boxing. Smash the like button as you come into the square, square circle. Stop all that reckless eyeballing. Bold is in the building. What's popping, King?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. What you got to cook on?
My man.
Hey, what's going on, Shelton?
Go ahead, bud. Bold.
Nah, I just came on. I wasn't even sure exactly what topic y'all on. My bad.
We was talking about Whiteeeee Garcia, aka Mikey Garcia, trying to insert Boots, basically trying, in my opinion, throw a monkey wrench into the three top guys that would be Bud, Spence, and Ugas. But he's basically just keep pushing this Boots narrative and all this stuff. I don't know who asked him. I don't think nobody really asked him that. But he's really trying to say Boots been calling Crawford. Boots been calling Crawford. But if you look at the actions of Boots, he's really calling Spence. So I'm just trying to squash that narrative before it take flight,
Nah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think he just running interference because it seemed like the closer Bud get to Earl Spence, there's always another route, that people try to put in, or like a barrier or whatever. I mean, this goes back from 4 years ago. I mean, get Jeff Horn belt first, we could make it happen. He get the belt, they throw in another monkey wrench. So it's anytime but take a step closer, there's always something else. So I mean, yeah, Boots is a great talent, but at the end of the day, the fight people really want to see is Bud and Spence.
Mm-hmm. The fans want to see that. Demetrius Bright said Mikey Garcia said 2 weeks ago that ESJ will lose to Ugas because of the eye issue. That's what I mean, Demetrius. A lot of people is looking at him like a wounded dog. We have to see, and I'm willing to wait to see, but a lot of people is looking at him like that. And since he's won the game of favor, like in the boxing where Errol Spence has more favor amongst fans, since he won that battle, he is the biggest one that they feel that they can put on their resume. But Boots is definitely positioning himself to fight Errol Spence. He ain't, I ain't say he don't want Crawford. And as you heard Boots' daddy said, he ain't scared. He said Boots ain't scared, but he also said Spence and Crawford not neither. But he said it's business, and we just basically, I'm paraphrasing, we got to wait our turn. It's just how business go. So yeah, they looking at him like food. But we gonna see. It remains to be seen if Earl is at that place where he could be food for some of these guys coming up. Demetrius Bright said, I believe Thurman is telling the truth because he was promised the Mayweather fight in the past, but Mayweather said he had to fight ESJ first. Yes, Mayweather did that. I said that yesterday. Mayweather threw Spence in front of him. Like instead of, what's his name? Thurman was calling for Mayweather. He just knew he was going to get him. And rightfully so, he was in position to get that fight with Mayweather. But Mayweather was like, man, fight Earl first. That's where that shit started. And Earl, I think, looking back, because maybe we didn't know this when it was going down, but looking back in hindsight, Earl kind of, I think, misstep a little by his response to Keith, because at one point even Keith had belts and Earl was like, I'm done with Keith Thurman. I don't want no fight with him. He trash. He devalued him. And that's what I was telling you guys about. I don't even agree with that approach of starting to devalue your different opponents It got to be a softer way to say somebody might be a tomato can or whatever. If you say you're scared, yeah, but he devalued Thurman, and then the rest of the boxing fans follow suit. Even though if you look at Thurman's record, he only had one loss.
And I think he devalued them even before he got the loss, right?
Yeah.
And this another thing, like what I don't like about some of the Errol Spencer streamers is that they didn't hold Errol accountable for him saying that about Keith Thurman, right? But when Bud said that about Errol Spence, all of a sudden they said, "Oh, well, Bud is ducking now. He said he was done with Spence." Like it just kind of like hypocritical.
That did happen. Even you guys that are Spence fans, y'all can agree that did happen. That did happen when we said, "Well, Bud, the one who put his foot in his mouth, and he's saying he don't want the fight," and that did happen. And fighters can get that way because they're frustrated. That's exactly how I took it when Earl was saying that about Keith. I never expected for the barrage to fall on Keith like it did. I never expected that. But Earl didn't know. I would give Earl the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he knew his fans was going to take it and take flight with that. But now Earl knows what he said carries weight and has value. So it's almost like I was giving the analogy with the president. The president has to be careful of every single word that comes out his mouth because that shit is powerful. Sometimes it could cost somebody their career. It could cost you your life or death. Like I'm talking about when the president is talking. So when you have that type of power or influence, you shouldn't say. You should be leery of the things you say. I should say it like that. You should be careful. Do y'all agree?
You know what I think, Miss T, and this is just my opinion. And I know they probably gonna try to bite my head off of this, but I don't. Errol is very sensitive. Errol says things personal. I think the whole between him and Thurman took it personal. You wouldn't give me a shot, so now I ain't shot you. My shot, what? But the line is an issue you always had with Spence fans and a lot of these PBC guys. You say you're your own boss, but now looking from high to now, we understand that you're good. Who came and tells you to fight, and when Heyman tells you, that's what you're gonna do. Prove it.
Shelton, you be having some good nuggets. I really, really want you to get a new phone.
Yeah.
Do you be hearing the playback on it?
I gotta get out the house. I gotta go take my ass down the street. But, he gonna have me telling the fights. Stop running around here saying you your own boss. You the big fish. You that. You are a fighter, and you go who your advisor tells you, and when he tells you to fight.
You might have to get a booster or a router or something. Like I put a Nighthawk. It costs a couple of $100. I put it in my house. I have security cameras. I have my TV. I have everything running off the Wi-Fi, and it just boosted the signal because I was getting that distortion and the buffering, and I was like, "Wait for this," and that's what I did. I connected it to my router, and everything else was wireless, and everything comes in.
It's called a Nighthawk.
Nighthawk, yeah, I like them better. He has 4 prongs coming off the top like little antennas, and I connected it. All I did was connect it to my router. It might be some stuff that you gotta because my internet guy was here at the time when I first got it and hooked it up. This was like about 6 months ago, and he did make me put something on the app. I made sure I wrote down all the passwords and stuff, but it boosted my signal because my Wi-Fi runs my cameras, my security cameras that I got outside and inside. But I was able to have like a different account just off that one account. So like for my cameras, it runs off of one password or account. Is within the same account. And then Everything else runs off my 51G. That's like the name of it. So like when I pull up my Wi-Fi, you know how you can tell which one is yours. So I have like 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah, I got it.
Only my cameras.
Research.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. Because otherwise, it's just like my router boosts me so big. I have like a 3,000 square foot house. So my router can boost me so big
Damn,
that I can get
big money.
I can cover it. Nah, it's just sweet. That's where we live.
Sure.
Yeah, it's I'm in the South, shit cheaper down here, but it's nice, big house. I bought it new. And my neighbor's house just as big, in fact, bigger than mine. But my internet covers their whole house. Boost like signal strength wise.
Hey Sheldon, are you on a Bluetooth?
Yeah, I'm Firefox on my phone.
No, I'm saying like, are you using a Bluetooth though?
No, I'm just using the speaker.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I know it. Like when people on Bluetooth, it does that a lot.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, hook your phone up when you're in the house to your Wi-Fi.
It is, but I got funky ass Spectrum, so I probably got to change my change.
Just boost your signal. That's all you need. When you go to Best Buy or something, make sure you tell them what you're trying to do. If you fucking around by the wrong equipment, I did that too. But you tell them what you're trying to do, and then they'll suggest it.
Nighthawk. So I'm gonna do my research on that and take it with me and see what from it.
Yeah, I wish I had the actual name of it. Let me see. I might have wrote it down, but let me look on my little papers because I have to write all my passwords down on this shit. But yeah, hold on 1 second, y'all. Y'all can cook while I'm looking because I really do want to give you the name of it. Instagram.
So, Mo, I wanted to ask you, since you hit you for a minute, brother. How did this see the play? I asked Miss T this yesterday. Do you see the play PBC's trying to make with this Thurman Barrios thing?
As far as what you mean, like an eliminator or something?
Yeah, because now they made this shit. You know they made this shit a WBC title, right?
Well, apparently, I guess I don't know where I heard it at, but I got to double check. Apparently, something came out today and said this wasn't an eliminator coming up, or if it is, it's not a final eliminator. But you know, the WBC is strange anyway because you got Cody Crawley, right? He beat the number 1 WBC mandatory, and this dude is only ranked. He only got ranked number 14 after beating the number 1 guy.
God,
and then you had a guy who beat somebody lower than him, and this dude moves up like 5 or 6 spots, but Cody Crowley only moved up 1 spot after beating the number 1 guy. So the WBC is just like all jacked up.
Well, Cody got no money. That's why.
But I'm just saying, like I'm just saying, just for the integrity of the sport.
Yeah.
You know, this guy he takes out the number 1 guy, and you don't even move him in the top 10. Like you only move him up from 15 to 14. Like that to me, it just I don't even understand that one.
Self bowl, and Miss T can back me up on this. Mauricio Sulaiman saw his integrity a long time ago.
Yeah, that man is on some Mexican racial shit. You know, I told you if you ask him what race was Muhammad Ali, he probably said Mexican. Oops, I mean black. 100 years from now, the book's gonna say Mexican. But it's a Demetrius Shelton is called a Nighthawk router. It's just you can add it with the router that you have in your house. And,
Nighthawk router. Got it. I'm gonna jump.
Now, you have to decide like which one you want to do. Is it your phone or the router? Either way, even if you get a new phone, it's good to have that router. I don't know if it's you to get a phone.
I do the router, it affects the Wi-Fi in my entire crib.
Yeah, the router gonna boost your signal. So if it boosts your signal, and then when you have to set up your phone, so when you come in the house, because like I don't even have to press no buttons. When I step outside the house with my phone, I'm driving down the street, my phone gets on the data plan that I got with the phone. When I come back in the house, automatically, and my kid phone too, it just
Just
goes to Wi-Fi in the house. Yeah, you got to do that with kids too, because they be on them damn games, and then their friends come in and be like, "Miss T, can I sign in to your Wi-Fi?" Oh my God, I learned that a long time ago.
no.
I was like, y'all can get the hell out of my face. Okay, yes, have at it. But yeah, I would go for that. But yeah, you guys, I wasn't shitting on Spence today, but I'm just saying.
Old Birdman say we are shitting on Spence. It's time now.
You got to understand these Spence fans are like ultra sensitive. Like you say something that even sounds closely to throwing shade at Spence, and they will get upset.
That's that. Now, I don't know. Demetrius and them been hanging in there, and Birdman and some of you guys, but y'all gotta admit that rings a bell to me too. It's like because I've even on here tried to choose my words carefully, and I've never had to do that when talking about boxing before. And for me, it was the fans of Spence that was making me be like, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the middle because I always liked the Spence. I liked the Spence when Crawford was in another weight division. Why can't I like both? That's how I was looking at it. But then it got difficult to like both. It's almost like if I say I like Crawford because he's the more complete fighter, it was no hit against Spence. I felt that way about Crawford when he was at 135 and 140. Naturally, I'm gonna feel that way about him when he got to 147. But I felt like I had to pick one. I had to pick a side. And I was like, I like them both. And then to hear and find out that article that or that talking point that Tim Smith did, that's what did it for me. Because I was like, oh, y'all have no intention. Like, imagine yourself at a job and you working hard as hell. And the job's supposed to reward you for your hard work. This is how you elevate your position. You get paid more and this, that, and the other. And you charging away and years and years and years go by. And then you find out no matter what you did, and I know everybody of color in here can understand this, you wasn't going to get no raise. You wasn't going to get a higher position. How you going to go forward after that? How would you? I'm interested. Y'all in the chat, y'all shoot y'all answer bold. Shelton, what would y'all say to that? How would you feel after that?
About the Tim Smith situation?
Yeah, like I gave an analogy of like if you was on the job boat, you was in the Navy boat, shipmate.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about. You working hard, you trying to make rank, you doing everything, you checking every box, and these motherfuckers come back with a promoter with eval, and then you like, well, how the fuck I'm gonna make rank? I gotta score so much on the test. You giving me low evals, guaranteeing I gotta work that much harder to score that much higher on the test to even make rank. How would you feel going forward when you know you don't have a snowball chance in hell to elevate yourself, no matter how well you do? How would you feel about that?
I think back to what people used to tell me, Miss T. Just to be equal, you gotta be twice as good. Twice as good, twice as fast, just to be on an even playing field. That's what I think about.
That's how they raised us. What about you, Bo?
Nah, I mean, I agree. I mean, it's frustrating, when you put in, like when you use that Navy analogy, right? Yeah, you could be putting in a lot of work, right, and you still ain't gonna get no raise because they could throw in, like you said, the low evals and stuff like that, and that can affect your overall scoring as well. So yeah, it's very frustrating.
I had a black master chief, and for those of y'all who not familiar with Navy ranks, that's an E9. First ever, and because I worked in a job that was all men, all white men. They had to integrate that shit, and that just so happened to happen when I came into the Navy. I came in back in '92, so somewhere around '94, like around that time period, they was integrating that division. I was a Crippy Bold. I was a CTT. And this lady, she made Master Chief, and she got put in Jet magazine. I was so happy for her. Cause one, we wasn't making cheap like talking about it. It was just a select tokens because it was an all white male, the job that they had reserved for just them. It was in the process of integrating. And she made Master Chief, which is saying a lot. So they put her in Jet and everything. I was happy for her. Well, it came time for evals, and the highest you remember they used to do 5.0, but then I think this was around the time it was at 4.0. And she was overheard by a couple of friends of mine, some IS friends whose office was right next to her, telling the other CT chiefs that I cannot get an EP because I'm too dark. Can y'all believe that?
Oh wow.
That was in the 90s, by the way.
Well,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
you know, in the military, still gonna be. They still got these politics running around like that.
Mhm.
They got the good
Still
old
had
boy.
that mentality. Old folks that you never heard your
Yeah.
grandmama tell you can't trust that motherfucker, or you
This was a
can't
black
trust they too
woman.
light.
This
Yeah,
was a light
are more
light
racist
friend.
against ourselves.
Mhm. She was a light brown lady, and because I wouldn't call her light skinned, but she was right close to it. But that's what she said. Now, mind you, I had all my PARs done, bold. I did everything because in the Navy they'll come up with these different requirements you got to get, and when you work in intelligence or a crippy like me, it'll always be some kind of educational thing like math or science or something that they throw a test at you that should be hard as a bitch, and and you have to pass it. That qualifies as your PAR. They can sign off on it. If you don't have all your PARs, you can't take the test. Now, mind you, for my peers, everybody who was my rank, I had it done. And a lot of people was failing it. I passed it the first time up and I taught it. And we talking like that hard ass scientific type math, like calculus level, trigonometry. It was a combination of math. It was called Delta math to be exact. And I passed it, wound up teaching it all while recuperating from cancer. I think I did a lot. I did a lot. I've caught things. I can't tell y'all my job, but I did a lot. And for me to know, no matter what you do, girl, you too dark. Now, at that point, once I heard that, my friends told me, please don't say nothing to you. I said, okay. So I'm gonna respect the fact that they actually told me and just keep it to myself. I fell back. I did enough. I started doing enough. And that pretty much was what it was because again, had I came in that little job like maybe 2 months or so later or something like that, it might not have been like that for me. But I came in when they were integrating, and them people didn't want to see us there. I'm black and I'm a woman. No, they didn't want us in there playing their reindeer games. I'm gonna tell you that particular job was giving bonuses. I got $30,000 one time for re-enlisted for 2.5 years. Tell me the white boys didn't want me there. They didn't want me there. But for her to play in that game, it hurt me to my heart. And I had to keep that shit a secret forever while she smiled in my face. Mhm. So what it taught me, that's my employment. Fighting is their employment. You when people do stuff like that, then you say, I don't care. That's where that frustration come from. Keith Thurman giving Earl Spence the stiff arm. Earl got frustrated. Fuck you, man. I'm not fighting. I don't even care about that fight. Then he went on the devaluing campaign, which derailed Keith's career. If you're looking at it, he has lost one fight. One. Except for that one fight, he could have a perfect record. And he lost to none other than Pacquiao. But the derailment process started. And then he did it with Bud. You're not worth 50-50. You're not just never before that have I ever even heard boxers talk like that.
Yeah, that to me, when I hear that talk to me, it just sound like scare tactics to me. Cause like you said, like I never heard another boxer talk about purse splits. I mean, even somebody as brash as Floyd Mayweather and all that money he made, I never even heard him talk about purse splits like out in public. Like I never heard that. I mean, he might have said it, but I never heard it.
He said you barely got the information after that fight. I never even real talk, y'all. I never even look at what they're gonna get paid until after the fight. Cause I don't never see it nowhere. It's only since Bud and Earl got this rivalry. Do you hear that shit? Only since then. And I, for one, don't like it. And like you said, it's a tactic. You don't have to devalue nobody. I wanted to go back to like, nigga, I can beat your ass because I can beat your ass. And let's see. Let's get in there. I don't want to hear about no, you worth this, you worth that. That's unfair. Because you can't tell nobody else what they worth. You shouldn't. I say it like that. Birdman says Spence told Keith that because Keith was out here parading the belt around without fighting, and Spence wasn't trying to hear Keith cap. Shelton calmed down on the Spence. He said, y'all are, and stop the sensitive talk. Laugh out loud. I think they both are great, but my guy is better. No shade. Laugh out loud. I just like seeing what y'all gonna say. You Bud fans got to get the last word. We hear you, Birdman. We ain't mad. Demetrius said, I made E9 early in my career and still retired in 20 years and 28 years years because of combat units and numerous deployments. But I always took care of my folks. However, senior officers couldn't stand me. You know who I got along with, Demetrius? Officers. They loved me. And I'm talking on the admiral level and captain level, which captain is right underneath admiral in the Navy, not like in the Army. Sir Ampo say facts, T. Demetrius say, don't believe all that. Keith has to take some blame because of his own inactivity. So we are saying now that Bud hasn't devalued anyone ever. I'm saying that train started, Demetrius, with Spence. That's where I saw it. Now, if y'all seen it start somewhere else, y'all let me know or show us in here, because I saw it start with Spence. And Keith do have culpability. All the fighters do. You can have the best intentions and make an unwise decision. That's any of us. I'm saying the reason to hate Thurman, I don't I don't see that reason. How about you guys, Shelton and Bo? I mean, I heard you, Shelton, before, but what about you, Bo? I don't see the hate. I don't see the necessary hate for Keith, but you might do, and that's okay. What
You talking
about
about people hating on Keith?
yeah, like where it all started, how it all became? Because what he doing, what he did to Spence, is the Spence doing that to Boots,
Nah, you mean to Bud?
to Bud and Spence, to Bud, to Boots. Basically, Keith was giving him the stiff arm. If Keith
Yeah.
wanted to fight Mayweather, and that's where he was at, and he had legitimate cause to believe he should have got that fight. Mayweather threw Spence in as a monkey wrench or a barrier to have Keith stop coming at him. So Keith stiff arm. Why would Keith look back at Earl, who really, and I don't like saying the word nobody, in the boxing at that time was a nobody. Not that he truly is a nobody. I hate to call any fighter that, but meaning he wasn't even nowhere near Mayweather and Keith's level. So why should Keith reach back to him, Bo?
Right. I mean, I think Keith came out. I saw a video. He said something like Earl only had like 15 fights at the time or whatnot, and he wasn't even like marketable. Like he like you say, he really wasn't even on his level at the time, at least from a marketing standpoint. And and Keith might he trying to get the fight with Mayweather, or get a big fight. So like looking at Spence, Spence didn't offer anything. He didn't even matter of fact, Spence didn't even have a belt at the time. So he didn't offer anything at the time. So from Keith's point of view, I could see where he's coming from on that note.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. And then Arrow is doing the same thing. Bud too. If you want to say Bud is doing, I think Bud was more ducking. Y'all gonna say I'm biased, but I I really believe Bud tried to make these fights. They didn't want him. That side of the street talk and everything.
Yeah, they hit on the side of the street. Like I don't even think I heard of a side of a street argument until the Errol Spence joint. I mean, I'm not saying it never happened in the past, but I just never heard of that talk. We on different sides of the street. Like to me, it just seemed like it was just sad when I heard that. You know, like Errol Spence had all the energy for everybody else except for Bud.
Yeah,
And then he used the size of the streets and the promoters and stuff like that. Like that's crazy.
yeah, they all do it though. I see you, Birdman. I'm gonna get these chats. Wait 1 second. Demetrius said, I train junior officers and senior officers up to '05. And yeah, you would. We do that too in the Navy. The chief trains the junior officers. That's an E7. But above that was straight politics and unethical behavior. I agree. But for some reason, them admirals and them fucking captains, they loved me when I was on the ship. Thurman was right then, though. After he fought Garcia, Porter, and Pac-Man, who doing that? Um, he was a prospect. ESJ was a prospect during that time. He was in the position that Boost was in. And probably not because he wasn't ranked number 1, 2, and 3. Errol wasn't. And well, Paulie did it to Thurman. Spence was young and up and coming. Thurman didn't want that body work because he was what Boots is now. No, Thurman was the creme de la creme when he started that stiff arming Spence. He was the top. Like I said, it was Mayweather and then it was Thurman. No matter whatever the ranking systems were, it was Mayweather and Thurman. Do y'all think it was unreasonable for Keith Thurman to expect that he should be able to get a fight with Mayweather? And none of you guys could say no to that.
No, it wasn't because he was the number one contender. He was the guy. He was supposed to get that fight. But by Mayweather being in control of boxing at that time, he said, I'll fight you, but you got to fight. And he was in control of boxing, so he could do what he could do.
And Spence, I don't even think he was in the top 5 at that time. So that's kind of different from Boots. Boots is in the top 5. And then Boots 3-4 years ago when he called him out, all of them, yeah, he was probably like Spence. And they was like, whoa, Kimasami, have several seats, just wait your turn. But then Boots had edged his way up to top 1, 2, and 3. So, he asking for these fights, but he's also, according to that video I showed you, his dad and him understands, and I'm gonna say him, because his dad works with him hand in hand. He's his trainer, I think. And his dad was like, it's the business of boxing. And his dad was talking about everybody but Spence and Bud, not saying he didn't want the fight, but he was just saying, we're gonna get these guys right here by us, beside us. He actually said that, beside us, right here by us. He actually made a distinction at where Boost is now, what I look like looking at a 13 ranked person. So what did Thurman actually do to Errol Spence? And if I'm gonna be mad at Thurman, then I need to be mad at Earl too. Sir Ambo said Bud be like them guys over there, because that's how they brought it to him. At Demetrius Bright, great minds think alike, fan. Demetrius said Timothy Bradley was the first person to say side of the street talk when he ducked ESJ at that time. He probably did. I'm not denying that.
Well, I wanna say something on that.
Side of the street talk when he ducked ESJ at that time. He probably did. I'm not denying that. Yeah. Somebody's echo unanimous. If you got some on in the back,
I took it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So my thing with this is I heard somebody else say that Timothy Bradley said sides of the streets, And he might have said that, but around that same time, wasn't Timothy Bradley in fighting Pacquiao around that same time?
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, I can't really say Timothy Bradley duck Earl Spence if he's fighting a better opponent in Manny Pacquiao. At that time, Manny Pacquiao is a better opponent. So I mean, was he really ducking Earl Spence?
I mean, if somebody want to make that argument, I guess they would, but I don't think he did neither. I didn't hear all this duck talk until really Errol Spence era. And it's not all the way Errol Spence fought when I say that. I'm saying during his era of reigning supreme, this is who I hear more about ducking and this, that. It's like the whole thing has changed. I don't know if they missed the point of the blueprint that Mayweather put out there for them, because a lot of guys, it's like they want his success, but they're not doing it like he did. And they're expecting perks that he eventually had to work hard to get without doing the work that he did. Unanimous, you're in the building. What's popping, King?
What's going on, Miss T?
Nothing much. What you got for us?
I don't know, man. What y'all cooking about her Earl Spence? You know that's my man. So
I'm gonna say this, Miss T, your point. So unanimously we did on it.
Okay.
So you gotta look at
Okay.
what we had at that time. Bradley was the main thing you've been talking about since we've been on this panel. Timothy Bradley been back at Spence when he looking forward to Pac-Man. He wasn't looking back at Spence. Spence was up at that time. Spence wasn't a factor there.
Yeah. What it started off with is Mikey Garcia, aka Whiteeeee Garcia, is trying to throw that monkey wrench of Boots in the pathway of Bud. He's instigating, in my opinion. He's instigating. He's coming out trying to act like Boots is really calling for Bud. But then when you look at the action of Boots Ennis, he's really calling for Spence. And
he
that's
calling for everybody. He calling for all the smoke.
But who is he positioning himself?
Yeah, he mainly called for Spence though.
He calling for everybody. He said he don't care.
Yeah, but when they asked him, they said, "Who you really want?" He said, "I want Earl Spence."
Because he know he the big dog. So I mean, everybody wants Spence. You know what I'm saying?
So
like, come on, just be honest. Like he hold the most belts in the welterweight division.
Yeah,
of course.
But if you look at Boots' actions, who is he gunning for? Is he gunning for Crawford really, or is he gunning for Earl?
He said it doesn't matter. From my understanding of the interviews I seen him make, he gunning for either or. He ain't worried about either or. To me, he's not calling out nobody specifically. To me, that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
But what this is this. She's saying ranked number 1 in the IBF, and he's ranked number 2 BC. He's ranked number 4, I believe, or 5. So the IBF and the WBC, the fights that can be made. You know what I'm saying? He's not ranked yet for the WBO title. So that's why he's looking at Spence, because those are the fights that can be made. Am I off base with that?
I mean, he got a lot of fights. He got Victor Ortiz. He got Terrence Crawford. He got, if Keith Thurman wins this fight, that could be a possibility. You know, he got some choices, you know what I'm saying, for him not being ranked. But just we ain't gonna sit here and act like we don't know what the hell going on. We all know that he's ready for anybody. And you know what I'm saying? I'll make that clear. Me being an Earl Spence fan fully, I know he's ready for anybody. Personally, right now. You know what I'm saying? Any one of them, anybody he fight right now would be a great fight. Period. Right now. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna take nothing away from him. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him come up. I know he's gonna come up, but you know, it's timing for everything. And I think by time he do get in that position, Earl's gonna been got all the belts and been moved up. And then I think he'll be the next baddest thing in the 147 until he go up.
You making a bold prediction. You talking about Earl Spence having all the belts.
Yeah.
You better hope he even get past Ugas.
That's what, but everything Earl Spence say, he speak and it comes through. Like he ain't failed nobody yet. He told everybody his game plan, what he planned on doing, what he wanted to do, as far as getting all the belts, whatever way it went, and that's what he pursuing. And I believe that's what he after this Ugas fight is nowhere else for Terrence Crawford to run to. And if he do run, then he just gonna go up to 154 and leave all the belts.
He said Terrence Crawford running. Well, Errol Spence been running for 4 years, man.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but just like he could have just made the 60-40 fight, which makes sense. He got 2 belts, Terrence Crawford got 1. Like, come on.
That means nothing. He had a belt, Mikey Garcia had none, and that was 50-50.
I'm talking about now, like in the welterweight division, like, as far as numbers and how everybody else wanted to go. Like, you got to look at the facts and the numbers. Like, Earl got 2 belts, Terrence got 1. The numbers add up 60-40. If it was 1 belt against 1 belt, then I agree to 50-50. I swear to God.
But I'm talking about a 1 belt against a no belt against somebody who never even fought at welterweight, and that dude got 50-50. And then on top of that,
who you talking about fighting though?
No, fight? I'm talking about when Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia. That was a 50-50. Mikey Garcia was coming up from lightweight. And he went to welterweight and got a 50-50 bag with Errol Spence.
But still, you got to understand he was undefeated and he was like what, 3 or 4 division champion?
What do you think Bud is?
I'm talking about Mikey Garcia.
But I'm saying, what do you think? What do you think? But what do you think Bud is? Is he not a 3 division champion? Unanimous in 1.
I'm saying not
Lineal in two of them, and then he get in there and 147. He's still a champion. Like, I mean, same thing, right?
He a champion, but he ain't stepped up to the plate.
Because Errol Spence keep running.
The fight's supposed to be made right now. Like, we supposed to be a date and everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? We can't keep making excuses. Like, they supposed to been in there. Like, he's supposed to took 60-40. I'm sorry. Like,
I mean, I'm not gonna play business manager or nothing like that.
Me either, but I'm just saying,
my thing is
simple facts, right? Simple facts. I got 2 belts. You got 1. We want to fight. Who's gonna be the eight? Listen to without the money, just me and you. I got 2 belts. You got 1.
This is what I want to point out to you.
We want to fight. Who's gonna be the A side? Who's gonna be the B side without the money?
All right, but check this out. Explain to me when was the contract ever? When was the contract ever offered to Bud Crawford? When was the contract ever offered?
Could you answer my question for me first?
This man is talking percentages, and he never offered a contract.
I'm just saying, could you answer that simple question without them?
Well, I would say, let me jump in here. I would say this unanimous. If you got 2 belts, then and everybody else don't have a belt, or they
say me and you was fighting, Miss T.
Right.
Just say me and you was fighting. I got 2 belts. You got 1.
Okay.
We in the same division.
You would be
without the money.
You would be the A side, but here's the thing: you have to keep the same energy. When Mikey came into the division, he got the fight with that he wanted with Earl. He said, "I saw something right." When Bud came up, he wanted to fight with Earl. Earl directed him to Jeff Horn, right? And
then, hold on. Can I say something real fast, Miss T? You said that Mikey said he seen something.
Right.
Mikey asked for the fight, right?
Mikey asked for the fight, and Earl obliged him and kicked his ass. What he saw, none of us saw. But Bud came up and asked for the fight, and Earl directed him to Jeff Horn. I showed the receipt on that. I know you wasn't here. I showed the receipt.
I didn't see that one.
In Earl's own words, out his own mouth, we can all look at him saying that he directed him over to Jeff Horn. Okay, so that's a difference right there. Mikey was new to 147. Bud was new to 147. Earl directed Bud somewhere else, but he took the fight with Mikey. Cool. Now he gave a person who's never been a welterweight really a 50-50 fight. And then he fought Sean Porter and gave him 50-50.
But why you think he directed the fight the other way? Like, because they had a deal back then too that they didn't agree upon. The same shit.
But Bud come up to the division. He called all of them out. They all stiff armed him.
I could come to a division and call people
Heisman pose too. Stiff arm. Heisman pose.
Stiff arm.
I can come somewhere and call somebody out anywhere, but that don't mean nothing.
But unanimous, can you agree that that's 2 different energies? That's not the same.
No, I can't agree
Same
to it.
agree.
Hold on.
Not agree. Come on, ATL. Come on, bro.
I can't
Come on.
because
not-
Earl said what he was gonna do. He said what he was gonna do. Period.
When he said that, when he said, I'm going to get up my side of the street, and he named specific fighters, was Udis in one of those names?
No,
His side of the street means he's gonna do exactly what he said and get all the belts from whoever has what.
He said, after I get Sean Porter, me and you next.
Let me ask
Did he do that?
now what he said when he said before is that this is the first thing Earl Spence said. Once Terrence Crawford get that Jeff Horn belt, then we can make it happen. And then he audible the plan.
I don't remember that part.
We showed the receipt.
But what I look,
That's a question.
what I can tell y'all right now is that if Earl beats Vegas, which I know he's gonna do, what y'all gonna say then when Terrence be running? Because ain't no other way for him to go but Terrence Crawford. So
Terrence is waiting. Terrence run.
what he waiting on? He just fought. He could be fighting somebody else right in the boots. He could be fighting boots. He could fight Virgil Ortiz. He could fight somebody right now. What is he waiting on? He just fought.
Chelsea, go ahead and get in. Get in.
He's
Chelsea.
fresh. He just fought. He could be making a whole nother fight. Earl ain't fought yet.
Oh,
By the time Earl fight, he could have been had us fought somebody else and be waiting for Earl right there. Like, why you waiting for a whole fight to go by and you just had a fight?
What does fighting Virgil give Bud? Nothing.
What you mean?
Nothing fight.
He's not gonna fight Earl. He could have just did it.
No. Earl,
Yes, 60-40. That's all Earl asked for, and that's reasonable.
No.
Last time I checked, Earl don't offer contracts.
This.
60-40 was the contract.
Why did
Where was the contract?
What's wrong with that?
hold
Where
on?
was the contract?
Shelton, go ahead. Shelton, go ahead. 'Cause your signal
Wow.
makes it difficult for us to hear you. Go ahead, Shelton.
What was so wrong with 60-40 is the main question.
Why would I fight you when I can fight him and take the easy route? Why did he say that?
Who took the easy route?
That's what Earl said.
Earl Spence.
Earl said he took the easy route, or Bud took the easy route.
No, he said he said, why should I fight and I can take the easy route and knock Sean Porter out? That's what he said.
How he take the easy route and he got two belts? Couldn't Terrence Crawford take that same route that Earl took to get the belt?
He said that he had one belt.
Earl Spence admitted to the easy route.
See, y'all still talking about the past. I'm talking about right now.
But the past is relevant, unanimous.
The future, right? Errol Spence got two belts, and he finna have three.
He didn't have two belts until he got it with Sean Porter. At the time, Bud had one belt. He had one belt. The original thing was go get a belt, and I'll holler at you. I'm paraphrasing. You get the belt, as Bo said. He changed the narrative. Okay, Bud is like, I got the belt. What's up with me and you? Neither
Bud
one of them
had the belt.
Bud got the belt because Earl directed him there, and Keith stiff armed him. Earl stiff armed him. Them two had belts.
So what you telling me, Ms. T, is that Earl told Terrence Crawford to go fight Jeff Horn, and that's what he did.
Yes, because they wasn't going.
So he did what Earl told him to do. Is what you telling me?
He said we could make the fight happen once Terrence Crawford get that Jeff Horn belt. That was his exact words.
Bud can't make them fight him. Earl can't make nobody fight him. Can we all agree with that? Nobody can make you fight him. But if the person you want to fight says, I'll fight you, just go get a belt. Then that's what you're going to go do. Keith Thurman was stiff arming Bud, and Earl was stiff arming Bud. They the ones that had
Keith Thurman stiff armed Bud. Earl didn't.
Earl did. Oh my God!
I mean, y'all talking about the past. I'm still talking about right now. Ain't one of you answer that question for me right now.
Let's go to the right now.
What was wrong with 60-40?
When did Earl Spence order? Where's the contract? It was no contract ever.
What was wrong with the contract 60-40?
But there was no contract. There was no contract. You can't say it was wrong with 60-40.
How do we know that?
Because Tim Smith told you that.
Y'all gotta explain. Tim, you said who?
Okay. Tim Smith told you that. He done said why he said AOB assaulting offering on Terrence Crawford. They never even offered the man a contract. They never offered the man a contract. We saying 60-40 when there was no contract even offered.
Earl put numbers out. What we trying to say?
Yeah, he putting out numbers and no
put out
contract.
numbers and putting and negotiate in the court of public opinion. Never sat down those two guys and hashed out anything. So you can't. That was nothing legitimate on the table.
So if nothing never happened, then who can you blame for that? If nothing never happened, whose fault is it?
Right now,
that's my next question.
PVCs, but Earl would know.
Why is it the PVC problem?
Because Tim Smith just revealed that he is not interested, not in the past, not the present or the future, to give Bud a fight. He said it all.
Did Terrence Crawford offer a contract?
That's why Terrence is suing Bob, because that part is going to be revealed momentarily. But the whole
last time I never heard Terrence Crawford talk about 60, 40, 70, 30.
I never heard Terrence Crawford talk about no contract.
And then 80, I'm an 80-20 nigga. Like you don't hear that, but Earl Spence will go on social media and go out in public and talk.
He never went on social media.
He
did. He said 80-20.
He responds to social media.
No.
But you just said he never went on. So if he never went on, he went on. He said 80. He said maybe 80-20 a nigga. That's what he said.
Spence. Y'all telling me Spence.
Ask Dwayne.
It was never a contract, right?
It wasn't. Ask Dwayne.
Terrence Crawford. It was never a contract. He never proposed a contract, right?
There was never no contract. But if you decide, why would you propose the contract?
So what are we talking about? If y'all say neither one of them proposed a contract, then
it's only one guy that been wanting to make the fight. All I know is that Earl Spence never obliged to any of that. All I hear is excuses. And every time,
so you ain't hear Earl Spence in his interview say he go to get a belt.
Nah,
he's gonna get this belt, and then he's gonna get the Terrence Crawford.
What I heard Earl Spence said at first, if Terrence Crawford get that Jeff Horn belt, then we can make it happen. That's what he said, and then he deviated from that once Terrence Crawford got it, and then when it was something else, then all of a sudden Earl Spence fans start coming in. Well, maybe he should go fight. He should fight Sean Porter. He should fight what's the name? Kell Brook. He should fight. Then as soon as Terrence Crawford fight these dudes, all of a sudden there's a new excuse. Oh, them dudes was washed. Oh, one guy already had 1 foot out the door and kept 1 foot in. Other guy, he was already he was Earl Spence leftover. I'm like, come on, man. Even though Kell Brook was Triple G leftover 7 months before he fought Earl Spence. I mean,
I ain't never thought like that.
No,
only thing I'm saying is I'm talking about right now. At this time, forget Jeff Horn, forget all that. I'm talking about the contract. Well, supposedly what y'all say, everybody's talking about the 60-40. What is wrong with that?
Nobody's saying nothing wrong. They just saying it never materialized. You cannot
I'm asking y'all. I'm asking y'all.
You can't negotiate like me and
I'm
you.
Trying to figure out why as fans are we playing manager? Like that's not even our business. The fact of the matter is the fans want to see the fight. I ain't worried about no damn 60-40. All I'm worried about is two dudes getting in the ring and fight. And all I see is just it's only one guy that really wants to fight. Errol Spence got like 3,000 excuses, and then his fans make up most of the excuses for him. Like Errol Spence say
I can't bag you up on that one.
No, I'm saying maybe not you. I'm not saying you directly, but what I'm saying is that Earl Spence got some extreme ass fans that will make up new narratives that sometimes Earl Spence ain't never said himself.
I fuck with Terrence Crawford too. I'm not no Crawford hater. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying at the end of the day, if you really want to fight, if you really want to prove you the best, what the hell is wrong with 60-40?
If the contract comes on your table and he turns it away, then that will be something to talk about. The contract was never given. That's like me telling you.
Did Terrence Crawford say that?
Terrence Crawford is suing Bob and put it in his contract. If you don't give me,
I know he said if
so we gonna find out.
He didn't get him the Spence fight.
We're gonna find
it's
out.
It's not Spence's fault. It's Bob Arum's fault that they ain't fight, right?
PBC fault too. We're gonna find out if Bob purposely did not negotiate that fight. We're gonna find out in discovery. Number two, if you go by what Tim Smith said, the high person at PBC, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, Not in the past, not the present or the future do we want to fight with Terrence. Never having sit down with Terrence. But if PBC, the person who comes up with the funding for Earl, and Earl is man down, but the money comes from PBC, if they're saying they're not going to pay Bud and they don't want the fight, then how is it going to be a fight?
But look, Queen T, you just said that. You just said it though. You just said it. Everything we just talked about for the last 20 minutes. You just said it. Even though he tried to blame it on Earl, but you just said it out your mouth. Like what he's suing Bob Arum for.
But
Bob
he,
Arum couldn't get him to fight, right?
This is what he's suing Bob Arum for. He's suing
But he said it. He said it in Bob Arum's face. He said Bob Arum couldn't get me the Errol Spence fight, right?
Right.
Am I lying?
But this is not exactly what he's suing Bob Arum for. What he's suing Bob Arum for.
No, but he said that live on TV.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you know what it said. I'm gonna let you know what it says in the actual lawsuit. What he's suing Bob Arum for is the fact that it was supposed to be a 2-fight deal, right? What was that year? 2019. Supposed to be a 2-fight deal, right? And what happened was it was a fight on there with Mean Machine and a second fight with Errol Spence. Now, if that fight did not happen, Bob Arum owes him, what was it, Miss T? Like what, 900,000? Yeah, close to $1 million. And he didn't get that money, right? Because the fight didn't happen. That's what brought up the lawsuit. That doesn't mean
no, but what did Terrence say out his mouth?
I'm telling you what the lawsuit said.
No, I ain't talking about the lawsuit. I'm talking about what Terrence Crawford said out his mouth in front of everybody.
But then if we're gonna take that,
he said Bob Arum could not get me the Errol Spence fight.
But unanimous, if we're gonna go with that, and he did say that. PB with the Tim Smith, one of the top dudes at PBC, say out his mouth.
I never heard that.
Crawford. You got to go back and watch his little interview. We not
paying. You ain't watched it. Unanimous. You ain't watched
that. Not in the present. Not
I just know I don't know nobody else speaking for Terrence Crawford but him and what he said out his mouth as far as Bob Arum.
Tim Smith at PBC laid it out. We're not paying Bud. We're not even interested in the fight with him. He costs too much. Now, did Tim Smith or Al Hammond sit down with Bud? Never.
So Tim Smith owns Top Rank?
But no, but you missing the point. Bud cannot sue PBC because would you agree that you can't, like if me and you are boxers, I can't make you fight me.
What would he sue the PBC for though?
But he's not suing PBC.
I said, what would he though? Because that ain't the problem. He said out his mouth that Bob Arum was the problem.
But he could sue his promoter because that's the one he has a contract with. He can't sue his promoter and say, Earl said no, and he didn't want the fight. So therefore, it's your fault, Bob. That could never be something in court that he'll win. But what he can do is say, did you do what I asked to make the fight for Earl? And if you didn't, why you ain't pay me my money? Because if you didn't give me the Earl fight, you have to pay me extra money. And you didn't do that. So that's breach of contract. Terrence can sue Bob. He cannot sue Earl. He cannot sue PBC. But PBC let us know they ain't not interested in Terrence. They don't want to fight with Terrence. And I'm going to ask you this, unanimous. After the Porter fight, should Bud and Spence been next? Yes or no?
No.
How come?
Because Crawford ain't take the offer.
There was no offer. You got to get that one. You're going to have to accept that one.
It ain't no offer because Bob Arum, out of Terrence Crawford's mouth, said that he couldn't get him to fight.
No offer. If Earl's the A side, then why don't he make the offer? If he's man down, his own boss, isn't the A side? Didn't Floyd do it that way? All the people with the A side.
Floyd is a whole different species out here. Floyd
I got a request, Miss T.
Okay.
Floyd made this shit.
Can you highlight the one D-Ray Promotions just put out at the bottom? Because that done said it all right there too. That help out the that shed.
Where do I find it at? Just
all the way at the bottom. The last comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you talking about in my chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, damn. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna go through y'all chats and put them up. He said, "Who said that the fighters want to fight? They fight at the Porter and Bud press conference. Oh yeah. Did you see that one, D-Ray? I mean, unanimous. TGB, the guy who works
That was Tom
with
Brown.
PBC.
Tom Brown said that.
Yeah, Tom Brown said that if a fighter wants to fight, the fight will be made. Can we honestly say that Bud didn't want to fight with Earl if he's taking Bob to court because he didn't honor his wish to get the fight with Earl? We can't
I
say
never said
Bud
that
didn't.
Terrence
I
didn't
know,
want
I
the
know
fight.
you're not saying that. I'm just clarifying. Bud is not the one who can be proven that didn't want to fight with Earl. Now, Tom Brown at PBC, the man who's responsible for getting all that funding, 4-man down, saying if the fighter wants to fight, the fight will happen. Bud made him repeat it. Did you remember that?
I mean, what that got to do with Earl Spence, though? Earl Spence said he's going to come get all the belts. He only said it one time. He ain't got to keep repeating it. He said what he was going to do, and he doing it right now.
Let me ask a question, Miss T. Let me ask a question.
Right.
Unanimous.
Go ahead, Sheldon. We can't hear you.
I'm
Unanimous.
listening.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Are you gonna tell me? Because you said it yourself. that EJ is the big fish, the number one welterweight, right?
Yep.
So sit here and tell me two belt unified welterweight, the world, make fight in the welterweight division that he wants to make.
What you mean is you got it's business to this, like.
That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, can he make the fight? Wants it?
No, he can't.
Fight. Why not? He's his
Because
own.
it takes they're on two different sides of the road. And just like Terrence Crawford said, Bob Arum can't get me to fight that I wanted.
Bob didn't try. But no, he's saying
But
Whose fault is that?
needed that Earl Spence because Tom Brown already exposed that one. If the fighters want to fight, make the fight happen.
If both fighters, that quote was, if both fighters want to fight, then we'll make the fight.
Do you remember the interview when Terrence Crawford and Bob Arum was sitting on the stage?
Yeah, I saw that.
And he told him that he parted ways and why?
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah,
did he
I saw that.
say?
He said, Bob couldn't he just Spence fight when I was with him. What makes me think he can get me to fight when I'm not with him?
So whose fault is it?
It's not. I believe it's PBC's fault.
It came out the horse's mouth. It ain't hard to understand.
Hey, unanimous. See what I think I'm hearing
Right.
is to me it seemed like you focus more on a post interview, but
It came out of Terrence Crawford's mouth, the horse's mouth.
No, I'm saying, but the pre-interview, you ain't watched that, but you watched the post interview.
I watch all boxing, bro. I'm
talking about for that fight with that Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter fight, because before the Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter fight, they had the
Final
interview, and for Tom Brown to say what he said, Earl Spence, to me, if Terrence Crawford really wanted that fight, and Earl Spence claims to be his own boss, because Earl Spence said he was his own boss,
you still going around everything else, and it's just straight facts, bro.
No, but
you going around everything when the facts is Terrence Crawford said Bob Arum can't get him to fight.
And
Earl Spence ain't offered.
That's it.
TGB, in other words, said Earl Spence
Nothing else to it.
fight. But TGB,
He didn't say Earl didn't get me to fight when he said that on live TV in front of everybody. He said Bob Arum can't get me to fight, so therefore I'm leaving.
And before Terrence said that, TGB said basically, and I'm gonna paraphrase, Earl don't want to fight because if they want to fight, the fight will happen. And then Tim Smith validated it weeks ago.
Did we ever see Earl saying that?
We heard Earl saying he was his own boss.
Did you ever see Earl saying that on live TV? Like you seen Terrence Crawford said what he said, facts live on TV.
But we ain't see Earl Spence offer a contract when he said he was his own boss, right?
Did you say
he never offered a contract?
Earl Spence say anything out his mouth about anything on his side, why it's not wrong with what's going on with the fight?
Earl Spence didn't want to fight. He's his own boss. He ain't offered a contract.
It's blame to go around. Bud shouldn't have signed with Bob, but men gonna do what they gonna do. Everybody get that. Bob did not honor his contract. Breach of contract. This is what Terrence is suing him for. Terrence cannot sue PBC because he can't make PBC do nothing. He can't make Earl do nothing. But then Tom Brown comes out, who works with Earl, because that's where his money got to come from. He said it's the fighters that be denying it, not us. He basically putting the PBC in the clear. It's the fighter, not us. And then Tim Smith, the PBC, comes out and say, we're not interested in Bud. Never was, never will be.
Everybody said they ain't interested in Bud now.
So that's what I'm, but they said they never was and never will be. So that's what we're saying. It is up to the fighters. You got one fighter legitimately we can see want to fight. You saying that Earl's the A side? I'll take that. He got two of the hardwares, but Earl is the A side, so do A side stuff. Not just Floyd. Floyd ain't the only one who was A side and decided everything. Oscar was the A side before he fought Floyd, and he decided everything. He put up the contract. Everybody in boxing who was the so-called A side initiated the contract. The only person that don't seem to do that and who is the A side is Errol Spence.
That's because Errol Spence ain't no real A side. The thing is, man, just because, like, here's my thing: just because you got more belts doesn't literally makes you the A side. We seen Triple G, right? He wasn't the A side to Canelo in any of those fights, and Triple G had most of the belts, and Canelo was clearly the A side. So the thing is that sometimes people be thinking like Errol Spence is no Oscar De La Hoya, he's no Floyd Mayweather, and just because he got two hardware, and then the dude hasn't even been active like that in the past couple of years or whatnot. Yeah, I understand due to the accident, which was his fault. He
beat Danny Garcia to death after the accident.
Who's Danny Garcia talking about,
bro?
Who's Danny Garcia?
What you mean he was the WBC champion?
No,
Danny Garcia?
No, not when they fought.
No, I'm talking about period. He was a champion, right?
When?
Can I ask a question? So
Danny Garcia wasn't no champion?
When?
Not when he fought Earl.
Not when he fought Earl. I know that.
Nah, he fought.
I'm talking about before.
No, he fought Sean Porter for a vacant WBC title, which was stripped from Keith Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Sean won. And then Earl fought Sean. So Earl got both of the belts. Ugas time when Sean won had the belt. I don't think he was a champion in recess. Or maybe he was, but Pacquiao got stripped. And he was a champion in recess, meaning it's his, but it's not really his. Pacquiao tried to petition him, and he was turned down the month before his fight with Ugas, which was supposed to be his fight with Earl. So but we all know that Danny Garcia happened before all of that. So how was Danny Garcia in the equation of cleaning up my side of the street? Should have been Crawford right there too.
I mean, that was his what they call it? Warm up, or what you say?
What did Errol Spence recently say about warm up?
Yeah, tune up. Yes, tune up. That's what he said.
What did he say about tune up? Other fighters might need tune ups because they're not sure of themselves, not me. That's what your boy said.
Exactly, and he did what he said, right?
My thing is
he fought a tune up with Danny.
Yeah, my thing with Errol Spence, he said clean up inside the streets, right? People said belts, right? But when Terrence Crawford asked him who did I say he was gonna fight, he said first I might get Mikey, who had no belt. Then I might get Sean. Then I might get what do you say, Pacquiao, something like that. Pacquiao at the time didn't even have a belt. See, that's what I'm saying. To me, he should have already fought Terrence Crawford years ago. Even if they ain't fight 4 years ago, they could at least fought 2 years ago. But he ain't
supposed to be fought. Everybody know that.
Yeah, but that's
being fought.
Well, I'm glad we agree on that part. They should have been fought. That's all I'm saying.
And it's not really Bud that's stopping that, because they wouldn't even had that meeting in the back.
I know it ain't Bud, it's Bob Arum, like Bud said.
It's PBC too.
It's Errol Spence. Errol Spence said he was his own boss, so he stopped the fight himself.
I'm just saying, y'all still keep going around facts, right?
No, we going around those
facts.
We're offering
facts is what came out of Terrence Crawford's mouth in front of the world.
But facts also came out of Tim Smith, who runs
Tim Smith
stuff
ain't
over
Earl
there.
Spence,
But
right?
Earl Spence has
Smith
no
is the
money
one who put
without
out the
Tim Smith.
contracts, right?
Didn't ain't Crawford speak up for himself and said what he felt in that interview?
Who do Tim
Tim Smith, he could just be saying anything.
Tim
Crawford
Smith
said this out his mouth.
Smith is the financial guy, right? He's the one that put out the contracts.
Crawford said this out his mouth about his own boss.
Okay, but Earl is his boss, but where he get his money from?
Earl make his own money.
Where
So
do
why
Earl
didn't
get
Earl
his money
offer the
from?
contract?
Earl got Man Down Productions. Like,
But where did that money come from? You got
him whooping ass over the years.
No.
Why? So if
When he
Earl's
do
his
his
own
fight-
boss, why didn't he offer the contract?
Because Bob Arum was holding Terrence Crawford back. He said it.
Earl Spence could have offered the contract regardless if Bob was holding him back or
Y'all
not.
still
Earl Spence
going
never
all
offered-
around. You going all around.
Yeah,
the fact, bro.
yeah.
See,
You're
man,
not accepting the fact that the money that Earl Spence gets for his fight.
I ain't even talking about no money or none of that. I'm talking about
because there's no
what
fight.
Terrence Crawford said out his mouth about why he didn't fight Earl, or why he didn't even get the fight with Earl Spence because of Bob.
But you selecting facts. And
that's why he's suing him. He's suing him for that bonus that he's supposed to got that they agreed to, right? Am I lying?
The PVC,
Am I lying? Tell me I'm lying.
Hey, unanimous,
man. For that bonus that he was supposed to get the Earl Spence fight, right? Ain't that part of it?
Yeah, but he's suing who he can sue. He can't sue PVC.
I'm not mad at all.
You must have been a politician.
I fuck with both of the bosses, man. But when they fight each other, I'm an Earl Spence fan. I'm black all the way. I fuck with all my black fighters. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Bud or nothing, but I'm trying to spit facts and tell you what this man said out his mouth.
But you're not accepting all the facts. Earl Spence has not done a fight where he had to get the money out his own pocket. Every fight he do, that money come from the PBC. Now, you know, as a man, if
you believe that
your money is your money, I don't have. If we was fighting, I can't go in your pocket and do nothing. Your money is controlled by you. PBC money is controlled by them. If Earl was paying for his fights, because in order to have a fight, you got to put the money up. It has to go in escrow. Earl is not doing that. PBC does. So if the people who have the money telling all of us we not paying for Crawford, then what Earl can do? If he's not a person who pulled the money out of his pocket.
You going all around the narrative too.
I'm not.
See,
you making it extra for the simple fact.
You know I love
you can't do nothing if your promoter don't even believe in you, Sheldon.
Hey, unanimous, man. You was a politician, man, because you just
know what I'm saying.
Your
own promoter don't even believe enough in you to make the fight. And he said it himself. Look, my promoters couldn't even get me to fight.
AT, I love you to death, but you
couldn't even give me the fight.
This dude is dancing around facts, and then he's accusing us of dancing.
I'm dancing around facts when Terrence Crawford himself said it out his mouth. Everything you saying ain't facts. Man. Terrence Crawford said this out his mouth. Bob Arum could not get me to Spence fight, so I'm parting ways.
Hey, we pointed out like so many things that happened on the PBC side, and you either claim that you didn't watch it, or you talking about.
We ain't talking about that. We talking about straight.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But you have to talk about it. They're not.
No, you saying it didn't come out Earl Spence's mouth. This shit came out of Terrence Crawford mouth.
I tell you what came out of Earl Spence's mouth, because I mentioned it already, but then you said it's the past. Earl Spence said he was his own boss. So if he's his own boss, then why didn't his own boss ass didn't offer the contract?
Okay, let me break it down to you why I think you can somewhat understand, right?
All right, go ahead.
Without goddamn being okay. Say, okay, you up in the north, we going through some whole other shit. I don't want to. It's like some. How can I put it? I'm trying to put it in a way that you know what I'm saying, it won't be disrespectful. Like,
nah, just go ahead, man.
Not to you or nothing like that. But I'm trying to say like,
nah, go ahead. I'm good. I
got down.
You cool over here, ATL.
Yeah.
I own you, but we boxing. I own you, but somebody who I want to fight, don't nobody own them, so they can do what the hell they want. But you got somebody that own you and's gonna goddamn tell you, look, hey, no, this what the hell you gonna do? Nope, oh no, we ain't taking that risk. That's basically what Terrence Crawford was saying. Like, Bob Aaron didn't want to take the risk with me because he seen something that he didn't want to put the money up. He didn't want to make the fight. And that's why I'm leaving this dude, because he wouldn't respect my wishes. He didn't respect my wishes. I want to fight this man so bad. And he promised me that he was going to get this fight. But Bob Arum didn't do it. So that's the only reason that this fight ain't happening. He said it to the world. So I'm trying to figure out what's so hard about that.
Now,
Terrence Crawford said out his mouth. Like, how hard is that to take in?
All right, can I answer this question? So I understand, like, that's your interpretation, right? But I explained to you what was in the lawsuit. The lawsuit, what Terrence Crawford is suing him for, is that it says it was a 2-fight deal, and one of them had Spence included. And if that Spence fight did not happen, Terrence Crawford was supposed to get paid $1 million that year. He did not get paid for the Spence fight not happening.
So who fought that is?
That's what the whole.
Who fault is it?
But see, I'm trying to finish.
Whose fault is that the fight didn't happen?
Hold on.
Let me finish it out for a second, man. That's all I'm saying is that if the fight didn't happen, he didn't get the money. But the fight didn't happen because if Errol Spence did not want the fight, it ain't happen. So with that being said, that Bob Arum owes Terrence Crawford $1 million, which he didn't get paid.
Why he owe $1 million?
See, in ATL, that is
why does he owe him $1 million?
Because it was a part of their contract.
And it was a part of their contract, right? Part of who contract?
Part of Bob's and Terrence contract. But
okay.
Let me say this part. Now, I like your analogy. Okay. You cannot exclude other mitigating factors.
No, it's none, because we're talking about facts. You talking about what other people said.
I'm talking about facts. I'm talking about facts. Listen, if Bud can sue PBC or Earl, you have to tell me how. Because there is no case. He cannot agree. Okay, we both agree. All right, let's stop right there. So Earl is his own boss, correct or not?
I don't know that for sure, so I can't sit here and say like, yeah,
Earl claims he's man.
I know he with the PBC, so I know he's not
but did you
all the way 100% his own. You know what I'm saying?
Has
Earl Spence said he was his own boss?
Hasn't he said he was his own boss? Right? Earl said it. Right?
I hear what y'all saying. I ain't hear.
Did you hear Earl say that?
No.
Ever.
Oh, so when they met up, Earl Spence, you heard what Terrence Crawford said.
When they met up, you talking about like 6-7 years ago?
No, I'm talking about like back in 2018.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a couple years ago.
When they met up, you did not hear at that point in time that Earl
Spence said he was his own boss. Yeah.
Stop right there.
2018. Yeah.
Stop right there.
2022, right?
Well, but okay, that is still that nothing has changed. He hasn't not become his own boss. He's still man down.
So hold on. So what y'all telling me by all this, the same conversation we've been 45 minutes, right? Terrence Crawford ain't his own boss? Hold on. No, answer my question. No. Is Terrence Crawford his own boss?
He dancing around the subject, man. Come on.
Is Terrence Crawford? No, it's a simple question. Is Terrence Crawford his own boss?
She's trying to make a point. You already asked the question.
I'm trying to get to a point, but I will answer that. Right now, he is, because he's not signed with nobody.
Exactly.
Right now, but hold on. So Earl has always been man down, and he's always been his boss up until now. From that time they met up.
Glad you brought that up, Miss T. He's his own boss now. So what's the problem?
Well, listen, hold on. But when you your own boss, you control the money, the finance, you control everything. But in Earl's case, I got a question, because you can say no or not. You maybe know it or you may not know it. Do Earl foot the money? Do he pay the bill to have any of his fights, or is that PBC?
I don't know. I can't answer that one for you.
But I do. I know that answer. PBC foots his bill. So in general terms, you're not your own boss, because you're not breaking bread. Somebody else is breaking bread for you. Can we agree to that before we move past?
I don't know. I can't sit here and say that's facts because I don't know.
Well, but again, I'm just
I can
go
hear
with
what you're saying. I can
okay,
hear what you're
okay.
saying.
Damn,
But
dog.
if I
Come
don't know for
on,
myself,
man.
if I don't know for myself, it's facts. It's an opinion. Am I lying?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll take it, but
Hmm.
I wouldn't lie to you. PBC pays for all of his fights. Okay, so Earl does not boss PBC. Can we agree to that? He does
Hell no,
not
I
run
know that.
PBC.
No, he don't boss them. No,
Okay, so that means he does not control his money as PBC's money. Can we agree to that?
no,
We can't agree to that.
because he have a partnership with PBC. He got his own promotion.
No, listen, I just asked you. I just
No,
asked
he
you.
has his own promotion company. Earl Spence
I'm
does.
not, but you conflating. I said if Earl is not the boss of PBC, you said
He's
no, he's
not
not.
the boss. No,
Right.
but they have
So
a contract together.
but no, but listen. He's not their boss.
No,
They are their own entity. They have their own money, just like Earl got his own money.
exactly.
Okay. So if we agree to that, if PBC can spend their money however they want, can we agree to that?
I
Can we
don't know.
agree to that?
I can't. I can't agree to that because I don't know.
PBC is the owner of, like Al Heyman.
I know who the
owns
owners are.
PBC.
Just like
Can
Bob
Al
Arum, the owner
Heyman-
of Top Rank, right? Okay.
Right. But Al can spend his money how he want. But PBC has their own money, right? And they can spend their money how they want. Can we agree to that?
I don't know.
This guy, man.
I
Man,
don't.
yeah, we got
I
play
can't
that.
agree
We
to
gotta
something
play
that
that
I
little. We
can't.
gotta play that
I
little.
can't agree
Boosie,
to something that I don't know.
we gotta play that little Boosie clip. You know when he said, "Now come on, now,
man."
dog.
When he said, "Come
Come
on, man."
on, man."
Hey, yeah, your money in the bank right now. Do you run how that money go, or
If
can I
it's my money, yeah, I run my money. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is that I don't know this information
I
about
know.
Earl
I
Spence.
get it. I get it, and I wouldn't lie to you because you my boy, $100 grand. I would not lie to you. PBC, as the owner of their company, own their own money. Earl does not own their money. They can be in all
No. Okay, Earl. Yeah, Earl doesn't own the PBC's money. He owns his own money.
Right. PBC owns their money.
Yeah.
So PBC can spend their money however they want. Can we agree to that?
Yeah.
All right. So if Earl, for the entire time of his career, depended on somebody else's money, then it's not just what Earl wants, it's what they want too. Can we agree to that?
No.
We can't agree to that.
No.
If they're in a partnership together, the PBC side of the partnership is I put up your money. Earl's part of the contract is I do the fights.
See, look, you going to the left again. Let me tell you why. I'm just going to tell you why you're going to the left because Earl is still with PBC. The PBC believe in Earl. Bob don't believe in goddamn Crawford.
Not according
That's
to Tim
why he got
Smith.
the hell on.
Not according to Tim Smith.
Yeah.
Not according to Terrence Crawford. Bob Arum don't believe in him.
Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question.
You gotta go look.
So if Ugas was to get the 50-50 with Earl Spence, what are you gonna say to that?
I think it's some bullshit.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you admit that, man, because
it's some bullshit because Spence the bigger name. Really, you guys. I'm gonna tell you some real shit, and whether y'all, let me see if y'all remember this shit. You guys ain't even supposed to have the fucking belt. If fucking Boots and what's the name when they had their head, but Boots would have been the champion. Am I lying?
How?
Boots and Van Herden was fighting for that vacant belt, and then it got disqualified. So that's how Ugas end up getting the belt.
But no, Ugas got
Ugas was the
Boots and Van Herden was fighting for the vacant belt, and it was a headbutt early, and the fight was stopped.
But how did Pacquiao
that's not what happened. Ugas got the regular belt for beating who did Ugas beat? He beat the guy who lost to Butayev, right?
Ugas must have been the
I'm
top
trying to tell you.
#1 ranked person as far as the
Do
sanction.
your research. Go look it
Because
up. And tell me if I'm lying.
he got the
Who
same.
guys got the Reggie belt?
You can do it on here right now while I'm online.
Listen. I know the
Boots
answer.
was supposed to the vacant belt was for Boots and Van Hurt, and then that headbutt happened. It was before
How
the 4th
did
round,
Pacquiao
and
get
then so it was a no contest, and so
right?
nobody won the belt.
But how did Pacquiao get the belt? Because Ugas got it off the strength of Pacquiao.
Pacquiao had the belt from Keith Thurman.
Right.
Okay, and then then they made Boots. I mean, they made Ugas champion in recess.
No, Manny Pacquiao lost the belt because he didn't fight. He was supposed to fight such and such and such and such, and they stripped him from the belt.
Yeah,
and Boots and Van Herten was fighting for that belt, and it was an accidental head.
Man, that's not how it happened, man.
Right.
The reason why Ugas got elevated because Ugas had the Reggie belt. Ugas beat, I think it was Jamal James. He beat
some of those interim belts
for the Reggie belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because the inactivity of Manny Pacquiao, he was champion recess, and a person with the Reggie belt at the time, which was your Dennis Ugas, got elevated to the super champion. And then
so what you're trying to tell me is that
anyway,
the fight between Van Herten and Boots wasn't for no belt. That's what y'all trying to tell me.
It might have been for the interim belt, but it wasn't for the Reggie belt.
What I'm trying to say, ATL, Ugas only got elevated as far as the WBA, and you know those things. I don't agree with everything they do, but they made him the champion in recess. They could have made Boots the champion in recess, but they didn't. They made Ugas.
No, that's what him and Van Herten was fighting for. I'm trying to tell you.
But the WBA is their belt. They made it. I didn't make the call. I don't agree with half the shit these sanctioning bodies do. They made the call and made Ugas the champion in recess, and then Pacquiao petitioned to give me back my belt, and the WBA said no. And then the next month, Ugas and Pacquiao fought because Earl had his eye injury. It could have been Pacquiao, and if Pacquiao and Earl would have fought, it would have been for no belts. Because in July, WBA said nope, Ugas is our regular champion, and then proceeded to put him in a box off as soon as his fight with Pacquiao was over. What I was trying to say in the end of the day, and I know people gonna see it how they want, but you have to look at all the facts. You said some facts, we were saying facts. All of these facts got to come together. PBC is not going to give Earl Spence, according to Tim Smith, and he would know because he speaks for Al Heyman.
And Demetrius Bright is right.
He won't give him no money to fight Bud.
Demetrius right. Bright, he right there.
What did he say? Whiteeeee Garcia 50-50. You talking about right here?
Yeah, because the location in his fan base.
But it's still not fair. It's not fair. Mikey had no belt. He had nothing to offer. He never been a 147 person. And he
was a name to get EJ name out there because EJ wasn't really flowing like that then.
But so was Bud. If somebody feel like he wasn't, then that's their opinion. He was undisputed coming up into 147.
Yeah, he was.
Hey, I just looked it up. Boots fought Van Herten for an IBO title.
See,
not the IBO.
Okay, but IBO, it was for a title, right?
Not WBA.
Okay, but it was for a title, and then it got disqualified, right?
But the IBO don't have nothing to do with WBA.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the WBA.
No. What I was saying is that them two had fought for a belt, but since the headbutt, I didn't know what belt it was, but I was just remembering. But I thought that's why Ugas ended up getting the belt.
Now,
Ugas fought Abel Ramos for the vacant. Well, it was really for the Reggie belt, but then he ended up getting elevated after beating Abel Ramos. When
so who got that? So who ended up getting the belt that they supposed to have fought for Boots and
that I don't know.
The IBO, I don't know.
But the IBO doesn't.
What the hell is the IBO?
It's a sanctioning body, but it's been around a while. But it's not going to make you undisputed. It's just a belt to have. It's not going to make you. They haven't. Maybe in a couple of years, just like if you go back.
They're trying to make it. They're trying to make it a major belt.
Yeah, they trying to make it, but people tired. We got 4 belts already. So
yeah, I know it was for a belt.
The one thing about the IBO, out of all, like IBO got some they got some straight, the rules are pretty, it's pretty good. Like I like the rules, but it's not even a major belt, so I don't really pay too
That's
much.
like saying Ring Magazine. That ain't a real belt.
Well,
no, they be
no,
making up.
I like the Ring Magazine belt because that also aligns with the Lineo too. When you got the
Yeah,
Ring
it's
Magazine
cool,
belt,
but
They rankings be fucked up
it's
though.
Oscar De La Hoya shit. And of course, I can't put that much credence on. I know it's been around, it has a name, so I'm not trying to tear down the name. But when Tyson Fury said, "Oh, I'm not gonna fight for this WBC belt, my next fight, I'm gonna fight for Ring Magazine," what the fuck is he talking about? I reported on that too. But in the end of the day, everything would come out in the wash. I appreciate you coming on ATL. Look, you know
Oh
the
yeah,
love.
man. Ain't nothing
No,
but love, man. I don't hate nobody. Ain't nothing but
exactly,
love here, man.
Hundo. You
I ain't
know,
gonna be one of them people that's gonna be here on screaming your ear. I ain't gonna let you talk, man. Y'all come through and show love, man.
and that's how I like to do the show. Y'all love Demetrius. Y'all know Demetrius my day one. Him
Yeah.
and Birdman. Love them to death. They have shown.
I slide through. I work during the week, so
Yeah.
I be trying to catch you on the weekend. You see, I tried to catch you the other day, but you were getting out.
Yeah. I extended a little bit because I saw that you said that. I said, "Oh, my boy ATL, let me give him some time." And so I'm sorry I ain't go through every chat, y'all, but
No, it's all
all
good.
of us got it. All I can say to everybody, everything matters. All facts matters.
Hey, look,
We
just a
can't
quick service announcement. I don't mean to goddamn cut y'all mid-T, but I want all y'all, whoever here, to pray for me and my family. I don't know if y'all, I'm out here in Winston-Salem right now. You know what I'm saying? And they got a fertilizer plant they've been burning for like 2 days. So I'm like a mile and a half from the explosion shit. So, you know what I'm saying? They say this shit could be bigger than the shit in Texas. So just pray for me and my family, you feel me? Because we like right here and that shit been burning for like 3 days. It got like 90 tons of ammonium nitrate in that bitch. So
I'm gonna pray for you real hard because all of us who been bold, you've been in the Navy. I'm gonna call that a big ass CHT pipe.
Yeah.
Don't play with that.
And I told him if some shit blow up around this bitch, I'm moving back home.
You might as well.
From out here.
I hate to say it like this, but it would probably be a good idea to get your family and y'all just leave until they can put that fire out. Because that smell alone,
Yeah, I woke up this morning and went to work in the fucking, in the morning it's cold out here, so that shit, the smoke come down, man. That shit was so goddamn strong. Like,
yeah, and you could get unemployment because this is beyond your fault. This is nobody's fault. Like the regular folks, you got to put your family first and y'all lungs because when damage like that is done, it's not. You can't go back and reverse it. So if you got somewhere to go, I was a mile and a half is not that far, dog. And
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely would tell you
that shit all over the news and everything, bro. I'm like, damn, how the fuck I come here and then this shit is right here, like.
But you know what? I'm gonna go back to the Winston-Salem. You talking about North Carolina?
Yeah.
Listen, yeah, take it on back down to ATL, dog. Just get up out there because they.
I've been out this bitch for a minute though.
I blame the politicians because this is what deregulation is. I guarantee you, at the end of it, when they saw this case, they're gonna say somebody cut a corner, and that's what deregulation is.
Yeah.
And who preaches that the most? And I'm gonna say it, y'all man hate me. I'm sorry.
No, I already know.
I love you guys, but I cannot stand Republicans because this is type shit that they do. North Carolina has the most beautiful waterways, but it's now 30 of them were contaminated when y'all had that one Republican governor a couple of years back.
Yeah.
He used to work for one of those companies that wanted the deregulations. So they
was fucking up the water. The water was fucked up here for a minute too.
I won't drink nothing. I won't drink no fountain sodas out of North Carolina. Y'all got the most beautiful waterways. It don't look swampy or nothing. And he destroyed it because he was hooking his boys up. But that's what Republicans do. Sorry, for all of y'all to say I don't vote, I don't want to vote. You are voting.
Yeah.
To get the power.
But yeah, man, I'm praying I don't got them fear nothing but God. No shit.
Pray,
if it happened, it's my time. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Nah, we're not gonna do that, ATL. We're not gonna do that.
I'm a God-fearing man
mm-hmm.
at the end of the day. So
yeah, we're gonna get in our car and we're gonna scoop up the babies.
Exactly.
We're gonna take it to the house. You got a cash app you wanna tell us about?
I know I'm good. I'm good, man. You know, I'm working, so you know what I'm saying, I'm good. I appreciate that though, straight up. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
anytime you want to come
You know, I'm
through.
gonna stop by. I'll be back. You know, so I was just letting people know just in case, you know, ain't nobody hear nothing. Y'all know the story first.
Yeah, we prayed up on you, and if you need to put up your cash app, I will put it up there and have it up there all day, every day.
It's all good.
Because you know, it's not your fault.
Nah,
Um,
nah.
you guys need it. But I'm sincerely hoping you scoop up the baby and the family. Y'all take it
Yeah,
back in ATL.
yeah, we chilling, man. That's why I say, hey, some shit move around this motherfucker. I'm out. I ain't with the, I ain't with all that. Like, hey, I ain't been through everything else but that. No, I ain't even trying to do with that. So,
True.
yeah,
Well,
man.
thank
So I'm
you.
gonna let y'all, man. Y'all be
Thank you
safe.
for
I'm gonna be
stopping
safe,
in.
Yeah,
and I'm,
man. Good talking to you, man.
you know, what I'm saying,
Yeah,
I'll be back. Hope everybody be blessed, man, and be safe out here.
I feel you. Um,
Already.
Shout outs to you. We love you. Hey, Bo, thank you for coming in. Look, I had a Canelo story, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my Black History Month thing. I'm trying to do that every day of this month. I'm sorry, you guys, if I ain't get to all y'all chats. I'm gonna roll through them right now before I get out here. But Bo, y'all stick around for the Black History Nugget. I'm gonna do one every day at the tour right before the end of the show. And Bo, do you have anything while I just show the chat for everybody? Do you have anything you want to add to it or close out?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I mean, it's a great, talk show and stuff like that, and great topics and stuff. And I'm definitely gonna tune in to the Black History thing. I listened to the one you did yesterday, which was pretty cool. You was talking about the guy, I think you said he was born in like
91, yeah.
1791. Yeah. I forgot his name, but yeah, I'll be listening to that. Yeah, it was really good. But
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely appreciate you having me on and stuff like that. And I know some people in the chat, we're always going to have differences of opinions, but I'm glad that everybody can keep it respectful and it's not no disrespect going on and stuff like that. So keep doing your thing, Queen T, and you'll definitely be on your way.
Thank you, and I appreciate you coming in, and the fellas from E Thriller, B Mac, and all that. Tell them I say what's up. I want to thank you personally for taking. You did. I finally did see it. It had to come up in my timeline. I do subscribe to you. It said, you had that little short thing. You said I came in like Remy Ma. Boy, I was sitting over
Yeah.
there like, oh, what a compliment. Thank you.
No doubt, no
I
doubt.
came in like Remy Ma. I was like, bird. And so, yeah, I appreciate it and all that because I was on one that day. I was on one. Some days I don't. I be tongue tied and everybody know I be messing up words. I have to come back later and say, hey, I meant to say this. I meant to say that. Usually I try to do a 2-hour show or less, but this was good. When it's good, it's good. When the train is going, I don't stop the train. So thank you for coming in. You are more than welcome to come in anytime you want. Thank you, D Ray. Thank you, Demetrius, Birdman, PGH, Big Dog, L Dub. I know he wasn't here tonight, but L Dub is my boy. He be giving me some stuff. Thank you to E Thriller and crew. I know y'all probably be working and listening in the background. Thank all of y'all. Just I love good conversation, but most of all, I love respectable conversations. So thank
Yeah,
you.
definitely appreciate that. You say he was a Crippy in the service.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, you might you might
cryptologic.
you might know my cousin. He was one too.
What's his name?
Is Mark Jones.
That name sound familiar, but
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
a cryptologic technician technical. I know that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. And my last name used to start with a T. That's where T come from, Teasley. But I remember when I was at E5, it was like CTT2 Teasley. I mean, that was my title. I
yeah.
was like, oh my God. So that's where the nickname come from, T, you know. And so I just roll with that. But even when I first came in, to be honest, people was like T. They just call me T. So my family called me you. What
You said you.
You. That's my nickname in the family.
Oh,
So I
okay.
would go home and people like, well, T this and T that. And they be like, who, you? Man. But yeah. So, yep, I had some good time. I know you got some good Navy stories. It wasn't all bad, but it was, it had its moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you get to the Black History thing, and I'll fall back in the chat, and I'm gonna definitely listen to what you got to say.
Okay, and let me hit my music because they just put this on StreamYard. My uncle actually making me music, kind of similar to this, and I'm gonna ask y'all, can y'all hear me real clear, even with the music playing in the back? The cadence. Okay, I turned it off. So I just got it on a little bit. Hit the like button as you come into the square circle. And my Demetrius Whiteeeee. Thanks, Demetrius, for that little phrase or that little nugget right there. But let me get it all set up. And thank y'all for sticking around. That was a good little combo right there. Today, we're gonna be talking about none other than Elijah McCoy, another great American. So, Elijah McCoy was a 19th century African American investor, best known for inventing lubrication devices used to make train travel more efficient. Elijah McCoy was born in Canada to parents who had fled slavery. McCoy trained as an engineer in Scotland as a teenager. Unable to find an engineering position in the U.S., he took a job working for a railroad and subsequently invented a lubrication device to make railroad operations more efficient. McCoy was born on May 2nd, 1844, in Colchester, Ontario, Canada, to George and Mildred Coyne McCoy. The McCoys were fugitive slaves who had escaped from Kentucky to Canada via the Underground Railroad. In 1847, the large family returned to the U.S., settling in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Anybody from Michigan, let me know if I said that right, because that is a mouthful. Beginning at a young age, McCoy showed a strong interest in mechanics. His parents arranged for him to travel to Scotland at the age of 15 for an apprenticeship in mechanical engineering. He returned home to Michigan after becoming certified as a mechanical engineer. Despite his qualifications, McCoy was unable to find work as an engineer in the U.S. due to racial barriers. Skilled professional positions were not available for African Americans at the time, regardless of their training or background. McCoy accepted a position as a fireman and oiler for the Michigan Central Railroad. It was in this line of work that he developed his first major inventions. After studying the inefficiencies inherent in the existing system of oiling axles, McCoy invented a lubricating cup that distributed oil evenly all over the engine's moving parts. He obtained a patent for his invention, which allowed trains to run continuously for long periods of time without pausing for maintenance. Remember what we said yesterday about patent office? You had to be a what? A U.S. citizen to even get a patent. That was his documentation of proof right there. McCoy continued to refine his devices, receiving nearly 60 patents over the course of his life. While the majority of his inventions related to lubrication systems, he also developed designs for an ironing board, a lawn sprinkler, and other machines. Although McCoy's achievements were recognized in his own time, his name did not appear on the majority of the products that he devised. Lacking the capital with which to manufacture his lubricators in large numbers, he typically assigned his patent rights to his employees or sold them to investors. In 1920, toward the end of his life, McCoy formed the Elijah McCoy Manufacturing Company to produce lubricators bearing his name. His family, McCoy married Anne Elizabeth Stewart in 1868. She died 4 years after their marriage. In 1873, McCoy married Mary Eleanor Delaney. In 1922, the McCoys were involved in an automobile accident. Mary died while Elijah sustained critical injuries from which he never fully recovered. McCoy died in the Eloise Infirmary in Detroit, Michigan on October 10, 1929. He was 85. He is buried at Detroit Memorial Park East in Warren, Michigan. Now I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna actually look this up. But for those of you who are born like millennials and stuff like that, you might not know this, or you might can't remember this. There was a saying back in the day, that's the real McCoy. Do anybody remember that? Do anybody remember that? And I wonder, was that a play on words in regards to him? Because as they said, he often had to sell the rights to use his designs to his employers or outright sell them to investors. As you said, lawn sprinklers, ironing board, all of these things are permanent staples in today's life as we know it. So he had a great impact on America as a whole. Elijah McCoy was a prominent member of his community, his society, and a great American. He was a man before his time who left a profound legacy for generations to come. We salute to Elijah McCoy, the real McCoy. If y'all tell me or y'all look into it and find out that maybe that didn't go with that phrase or that saying, then okay. But I really believe that that's where that saying come from. These cliches and things we say, they're not pulled out of thin air. They have some kind of relevance. Just like in my day, if somebody said your name was Mud, that was an insult because Mud was the doctor who hid John Wilkes Booth in the crew after assassinating Lincoln. And he was destroyed, reputation and all, not to mention whatever legal trouble he was in. So, Elijah McCoy, we salute to you, King. And make sure we pull that up. But thank y'all for listening and everything. I hope y'all like that little nugget. That we hear you good. The real McCoy. See, D-Ray know. A lot of young folks, this is where that stuff comes from. Because, as he got older in the 20th century, he actually was, he was able to get that manufacturing business where he could put his stamp on it, his brand. And everybody knew who was messing with his pimping. They knew that when it's a McCoy behind it, that shit is, you could take it to a bank. You could take that to the bank. Hence the real McCoy. Shout outs to your brother. Great American. Thank you guys for listening. And I'll see y'all tomorrow with more Black History Nuggets. Peace.